There we are. Let's see.
We're going live stream as well. Right.
We gotta get some better actors. Hey, Kim, Canton, Ohio. Guys, as you're coming on, welcome. We're going to be getting started here in about 10 minutes. I just wanted to come on here a little early. Hey, Terry, Key West, Florida. He's got his hat on and his cigar's ready to roll. Appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are coming in, let us know. Adams in Florida, Southwest Florida. Is that full screen?
Yeah. Turn it on here.
Okay, cool. We will be watching this live with you. Today's Dria's birthday. Say hi, Dria. How old are you today? 3 or 4? Or 6? Everyone's saying happy birthday, Dree. Chris, what's up? Columbus, Ohio. Happy birthday, Doug Dobler, Brian Conrad, C-Bus. Happy birthday from Sony. Everyone's saying happy birthday. Also, there's a 404 on the SMS links, guys. Adam said. Happy birthday, Drew. Look at all these happy birthdays.
Aww.
You get more than I do. They're only here to see you. Huh? Want some popcorn? You guys got to get these. What do you think? Hello, Sandra. Bo. Can't believe filming. Finally happening, right? Finally. Yay. Yeah, this has been 3 years in the making. We actually did a pre-premiere of this February 28th, 2023. Actually, this is the mug from it. So if you guys are brand new here, just learning about us. What's up, Ron? If you guys are brand new and just learning about, Mark Evans DM and the Dealmaker brand and all that, let us know. Just say new. I'd love to know who's here new. And we see a lot of familiar names and stuff here. So hi, Sandra. So a lot of new people here. So hey, Tommy. New, Cynthia. And Cynthia, where are you from? Tommy, where are you guys from? Ryan, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you and welcome. My name's Mark Evans, DM, the Dealmaker. This is my wife, Dina. This is my daughter, Drea. Say hi, Drea. Today's her big birthday. Mark, you want to say hi? Jump in here, bud. He's too busy eating popcorn.
Hi. Hi.
So Ron says happy birthday. Virginia, Traverse City, Michigan. Where did we stay there? Remember we stayed there a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. We did the sand dunes and all that fun stuff. Hey, Juan, Jan, Riviera, Rockville, Maryland. Thank you guys for being here. If you're brand new, just say new. Let us know you're new. There's a lot more people coming on. We're gonna. I would guess we'd have a packed house. We had thousands of people registered tonight. This super exciting times. Like I said, this is something we've been working on for over 3 years. We won't take too much of your time. It's about an hour long. If you stick around and have questions or comments, or are you a business builder? If you have business questions, we're going to do live Q&A, not just with myself, but also my buddies that were a part of the film with us, which you'll meet a lot of them tonight. Hey, Anthony, what's up, buddy? Jeff. And then also, if you're a business owner, and I would ask you, what industry are you in? What kind of business do you have? If you're brand new here and you have a business, let us know what business you are in. Mark, what business are you in, bud? The money business?
YouTuber.
Solomons are watching from Idaho. What's up, Jen? Jeremy, online marketing. John, Mr. Johnny B is in the house. Linden, Columbus, Ohio. Anthony, my business serves the golfing community. Awesome. Work on starting my business using this as fuel. Awesome, Jeff. Property manager, realtor and contractor, action cleaning, Cindy's home cooking. Awesome. Thank you for being here, guys. So as you guys are coming on, if you're brand new to the Dealmaker community, say new. Let us know your city and state where you're from and what business you're in. This is live. It's 6:55 p.m. April 24th, 2025. This is my daughter, Drea, and today's actually her birthday. What's up, Matt? Thank you again for the video, buddy. Hey, Jeff, Home Renovations, Columbus, Ohio. You own Salon Suites, Bo. Thank you for being here. New and New York City Energy Consulting Service. Hello, Gian. Happy birthday from Anthony. New retired restaurant in Verona. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to get started here soon. Ron is in the membership organization. Salim, Ohio. What's up, Kevin? Investor Real Estate, Sandra. Cool. We're going to start in here in about 5 to 6 minutes. Fort Lauderdale, Iowa, Chicago, commercial real estate. What's up, Andrew? What's that?
There's a canine guy. See?
I know, I see him. What's up, Joe? Hey, Lambert, Louisiana, New San Diego, Salt Lake City, cannabis manufacturing dispensaries. What's up, Greg? Deb, Roy, Utah. Jeremy Jensen, great work, Mark. Thank you, buddy. Mark, home builder, excavator, real estate. Mark, what market again? And then what's up, Mark and family? Happy birthday to little one. From Damien, what's up, buddy? Mark, El Paso, Mississippi. Aaron's in here now. Mortgages and commercial mitigation restoration. Thank you for being here, guys. Again, this is live. We will have a lot of people here, so we'll go for about an hour. And then after the hour, I'd love to do Q&A. If you have questions about your business, how to scale, how to sell, how to grow, challenges you're facing, think about what one lever that would help you grow your business. And I wanted to be massively valued for here today. And we've got some cool bonuses and gifts we'll be sharing throughout the stream. So, most active, interactive, letting people know who you are, what you got going on. Let's all connect. What's up, Kirk? I'll see you on the 9th. James, Tacoma, Washington, investor contractor. Scott, Mr. Red Suit Orson. What's up, buddy? Real estate investors. Thank you, bud. West Lafayette. Okay. Guys, again, brand new. Mark Evans DM. This is my wife, Dina.
Hi.
This is my son, Mark. He's about to be 10. August, what? 19th. And today is actually my daughter's birthday. She turned a big 6. Today. So we're excited to be here, guys. This is a very special moment for all of us, and look forward to sharing it with you. So we're sitting on the couch. We've got the TV on. We're going to be watching it while you guys are watching it. We're going to have some popcorn. Kids are going to eat this, and it's going to be all over the couch in about a minute. But we'll be here, and I want to make sure we have great conversations and help you guys get to the next step. Hey, what's up, buddy? I grew up in Ohio, small town in a trailer. John. Appreciate you being here. Jeff, we need to connect. I'm in Columbus as well. Always looking for good people to do business with on the construction side. Awesome, Brian. Okay, you guys are all talking to each other. I like it. Nice. Cool, guys. So if you're brand new coming here, some more people are coming on. It's going to get more and more. Indianapolis. My name's Mark Evans. This is my son, Mark. This is my wife, Dina. My daughter, Drea, over here. Drea, tell them how old you are today. Today's her birthday. How old are you? 4, 5, 6. But we are here. We are live with you. We're going to go live into the video in about 2 minutes. Antonio, Terry, Aaron, Kim, Tim, everyone's here to help assist us with us. We are going to have a panel discussion afterwards. Talk about the 6 tenets that we went through in the documentary, which you'll see soon. And what's up, Tim?
There's Tim.
He's here. I got to bring him on here to make me look better. That's how I usually do it. What's up, buddy? We got Maryland. Thank you, Matt. What's up, buddy? Jesse. Thank you, guys. Again, let us know your city, state, what business you're in, and if you're new, if you're brand new to the Dealmaker community, just say new. That will let the Dealmaker community people. There's a lot of Dealmaker community people here. Let us know that you're here. What's up, Sean? And we want to make sure we deliver massive value. Hope you get a lot from this. Take notes. Ask questions. There's no dumb questions at the end. And like I said, for the most interactive in the chat tonight, live, we're going to be sending you some swag. Aaron and Kevin, all of them will be handling that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to shut off my screen, and because you guys don't want to look at me the whole time. And Tab, if you want to too, we'll let this go directly to the screen, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you in a few.
Bye.
I'm Mark Evans deal. I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it to discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. I'm Mark Evans deal. I'm here to help.
It means everything. It's completely changed my life. see this man's life and what he's accomplished as a family man in the community, the amount of money he gives, it's a real thing.
He's a great husband, father, leader, a great friend of mine.
Great family man and really serving other people, and I really respect that and look up to it and think, wow, just how far he's come.
He's a big giver, and he always puts people before himself.
And it's so great to see how much he gives back now to all the people that he cares about serving and stuff.
Honestly, watching everything, I was like taking notes, and I'm like, I want to sign up. Like, I'm ready to go.
It was amazing. Love it. Love it. Yeah. For anyone that is watching, paying attention, whatever, when you look at someone's life globally like that, go follow them.
Did you know there are 6 tenets that make a world-class deal maker? Mark Evans is the guy that everybody comes to when they need a life-changing deal done. The only problem is, over the years, he's gotten so many requests, he decided to make a documentary, to take a year of his life to film and open up his playbook through 6 tell-all chapters that'll unlock the power of how to make life-changing deals for you and for your family. So whether you're making deals in tech or finance or real estate, or in your marriage, with your kids, or just with yourself, you're gonna go behind the scenes of a no BS private room of about 50 deal makers or so, who are responsible for not only billions in transactions, but they live a very unique ethos. So pay close attention. These 6 deal maker secrets have the power to change the game for you, your family, and for your legacy. So my friend, welcome to this short film, and welcome to the Dealmaker family documentary.
I could take over the world, to be honest with you. With guys like Mark, the guys that's in the DM family, I really feel like anything that I put my mind to, I can do. I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
He's truly like one of my best examples. He's taught me significance of really investing in relationships and truly caring about people.
They can call me whenever, like, hey, I just made $1 million today. It's like, why didn't you make 5?
Chapter 1, Dealmaker versus Troublemaker. So if you go back to when Mark was a kid, he liked to do things like every other kid does, but he was less concerned about toys or bikes or things that a young person might be interested in, because Mark, he was a kid who wanted to be rich.
Just growing up in a small town, it's cool, but the thing is the parents are getting the call from the neighbors before you even do it. It's so small, right? This is the main street we're getting ready to get on, so be careful, don't blink, because you might miss it. We have no stoplights and no cops. This is actually, it's a township. This isn't even like a city, right? It's just a little township. 10, 12 years old, whatever. Asking myself, how to make money. It's interesting, I marked out business and put money instead. I just wanted to make money. Obviously a kid not trying to make a business, just create money ideas. It started getting serious, obviously. So it's like bake shop stuff, right? Because I'd always ask myself, how much did things cost? These are old. This is 1991.
Not all stories begin with glorious skyscrapers or shiny business ideas on the first try. So while the neighboring kids' parents would complain about their kids' minds being in the gutter, Mark was pushing all of his hopes and dreams literally into the gutter with his very first business.
Truth is, I never wanted to go to bed because I was afraid to like lose traction and I couldn't wait to get up.
Especially when you were doing gutters and roofs with the owners, driving nice cars.
Yeah, I'm sitting there doing all the manual labor for these guys pulling up in a Porsche smoking cigars. Like, yo man, you got another job for you? Down the street, I just bought this house. I'm like, dude, I want to be driving a Porsche smoking a cigar.
If he put his mind to it, he did it. He didn't care what it was or what it would take.
Like the gutter company, that's a cool story because like that was Larry down the street. He got in a bad car wreck. You know, I stopped by and acted like my uncle wanted to buy it because I'm like, he's not gonna sell it to a kid. And then I ended up buying it, put $1,000 down, and he financed me $24,000 for 5 years. Just a small town kid, you know, trying to make more money.
Mark's dad stepped in and gave him a little space to start getting his affairs in order. It wasn't much, but it was enough for him to understand just the ins and outs of just following the Dealmaker way, of making deals, of understanding how deals work, versus being like some of the other kids in the neighborhood who were just about being a troublemaker. His dad and his experience was the first moment of what it meant to actually make a deal, to make deals. And that's when he realized that the key and the path to freedom was deals.
A lot of people are afraid to make moves because they're afraid of the unknown, right? I was so afraid of the known. I already knew what I knew, and I didn't want it. You know, that scared me. So I was like, I have to learn new information. I have to, you know, find people that can teach me stuff. You know, my mom and dad, like I said earlier, are like absolutely amazing people, but they're not trying to grow, they're trying to survive. These are two totally different action sets. That was probably what, 2 years. Like this was my office for 2 years over here. Looks a little different now, but come out here, that's like same carpet. This is where it started. But this used to be the office where we'd bid the jobs, create the invoices. What else are we doing here, Dad? Just kind of hide from Mom? Yeah, here's some old signs, the siding and windows, and I wasn't sitting in an office all day. I was in here. We were fixing the machine. It would be broken. We had stuff everywhere, coil stock because we did gutters, right? You have aluminum everywhere.
He was doing all he could to push and make his first enterprise a success.
My dad, he's kind of like my buddy, you know? Yeah. So he's kind of cool. You know, we say goofy stuff around each other, and, you know, obviously my mom's always offended by our talks. Even as kids, she's like, you guys are disgusting, you know? Again, we're not trying to be disgusting, we're just being silly, you know, being boys, guys. Dude, I wish more people had it. I wish more people, like I said, I've always been very blessed with my dad and my mom. But like, you know, guy to guy, it's always like a cool thing, you know? That's how I want to be with my son. I want to be his buddy, but I also want to be his mentor. I'm not trying to be just his dad. But there are dad moments. You got to be dads too, you know? So like, you know, Father's Day was recent, and I'm sitting here thinking like, dude, there's a lot of kids that don't have dads in their life, you know, and that's sad to me. You know, I think a lot of times we're looking for that one aha. I think it's like a combination of it. The biggest moment was October 8th when my grandmother passed. So I was like, oh my God, there's more to life. You know, it was a very unexpected situation, and then boom, you know, it just hit me.
While things were kind of working, his world completely shifted on a dime. His grandmother sadly and suddenly passed away, and something deep changed inside of him.
I was like, I gotta do bigger, I gotta do smart, I gotta be smarter about how I'm going at this. And I already had some money kind of rolling in companies and all that, but I didn't have a business, I had a job. But again, I always thought I was right. You know, I thought I was right every day because I was the boss. And that's the shift. I became a leader, not a boss. I realized I don't like telling people what to do. I want to inspire people on how we can do it better, and they can give me feedback and I can become better.
This was his first experience brushing up against the reality of death. And it forced him to graduate early from the role of just being a boss who just wants to go and control people into evolving his paradigm into just being a leader. Someone to impact and inspire others. While the passing of his grandmother broke his heart, it actually broke his heart into being a better leader.
Dealmaker means the deal maker of your life, right? So what do you stand for? You make a deal with yourself, stick to it, and see it through.
What does the DM stand for? Dealmaker. You're always conscious of wanting to help other people at all levels, not just in business. Deal making in your life, deal making in your business, deal making in relationships, deal making with all. I mean, it never ends.
The world needs us. Do you guys agree the world needs us right now? Entrepreneurs? Yeah.
Man, I feel like I could take over the world, to be honest with you. Just again, with the resources, with guys like Mark, the guys that's in the DM family, I really feel like anything that I put my mind to, I can do. I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
You know, Dealmaker to me just sounded like a fit. You know, Mark Evans DM, you know, maybe I was trying to be a doctor or something, who knows. But really what it is, it's evolved. And it's not evolved just because of me, but like everyone are partaking in it, participating in it, and expanding from it. It's neat to see the guys that are growing and all that, but the truth is, I'm not taking credit for any of their work. I want me to help them with my knowledge that I have. They take that knowledge and lay it down to the people they're working with. I want us to make a ripple effect impact.
I connected with a guy here at the event. He's been in the family for maybe, I think, about a year. And we just got started talking, and he's come across a new strategy. And this looks like it could be a massive fit for multiple deals in my portfolio. And like easily, just this year could add $3 to $4 million to my bottom line. Just by that one conversation connection with that guy. And if I hadn't been here, probably wouldn't have happened. And that has happened at every single event, something like that, where I've made a connection, sparked something. You're connecting with people that are making moves. Like, you don't get that in regular life. Like, you don't get that in just your community, having a beer on the pool or whatever you're doing. You only get that where you're connected with guys that have been doing the work for 15, 20 years. They're making big things happen.
Here's the thing is, one thing I found about successful people. They don't feel like they've done anything. And they know their flaws, and they're always trying to improve. People that are not so successful financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, is they feel like they've done everything. It's all on my shoulders. I'm the hardest worker in the world. Everyone owes me something. I deserve this. I deserve that. It's the mentality, you know, that we're talking about. Is I feel like I haven't done anything, you know, financially, physically. I want to be constantly improving.
Chapter 2, Lifestyle versus No Style. What's so wild is that if Mark would have been okay with having no style, he would have been stuck in this 650-person small town.
The thing is, it's kind of like a fish. You only get the size of the tank, right? And there's 650 people in this town, so I felt like I was in a fish bowl, and I'm trying to be a shark at 12, you know, great white. And the biggest you can get is become like maybe a little bluegill, you know. So, and that's not knocking the town. It's just like that's just the way it is, you know. Not to say you can't be huge here. It's just this is not inspiring to me. It was inspiring to leave, not inspiring to be.
The choice was simple. He could have had no style, but now he's able to give others the lifestyle as well. He's now putting on conferences to 650 members of his programs, and he takes his inner circle members into masterminds to the Isle of Murata in Florida.
Josh Zaglowski from Morgan, Utah, Mountain Green, Utah. Got a beautiful wife, Taryn. Got 4 kids, Gunnar, Garen, Grace, and Hope. I've been in commercial real estate for 7, 8 years, a lot of triple net, shopping centers, medical buildings, dental buildings. What I liked about this DM family mastermind for me was I was kind of looking for something that didn't have a lot of real estate stuff. What's helped me financially is, I started a company called ERC Specialists, and I remember talking to Mark about it when I first started it, and he was very open about, hey, talk to the group about it. I think this would be something that'd be big, and ended up being not just big, it ended up being huge. I appreciated everyone's trust in me, and with that, I've always wanted to get to know what their business is and how can I help their business. When you build that relationship capital, good things happen. And that's definitely something I've learned with the DM family.
Business is pretty easy. It's just a math formula. Just like making pasta, you have a formula to how you make your pasta, how you make your pizza, how you make your breakfast. Like, they're formulas. We as humans complicate everything. Like, all three of us could have the same exact recipe to bake a cake. They all three turn out different, I promise. Business is very simple. The truth is, like, if we have a huge win or a huge loss, we're not celebrating, or we're just dealing with it and moving. It's not like, oh gosh, I did such a great job, I'm just gonna hang out for the next 5 days. It's like, dude, if I can do that, what if I really put more effort? What if I get more streamlined? What if we, how do we do this bigger? How do we do this more, more efficient? How do we make a bigger impact? That's what we're really trying to do, is impact,
See, lifestyle is about the time to enjoy the relationships that you care about most. It's important to have a mission in life, yes. It's important to be successful, yes. It's important to build life-changing, impact-driven businesses, yes. But you can't do all that when you're sacrificing the people that are the most closest to you, the most important to you: your wife, your husband, your children.
Oh man, getting robbed, being beat by a 7-year-old. On the street, he found it.
I mean, his level of, success and why he is where he is because it's like 100. You have to be 100%. Everybody's got to be the best because, he puts forth all of himself, so he expects that for everybody else.
Mark, what's the 8th wonder of the world?
Compounding interest.
What's ROI mean?
Return on investment.
What's P&L mean?
Profit and loss.
Oh yeah. What is the biggest, best asset in the world that you have?
Name.
Why is your name your biggest asset?
Because it would you tell everyone what's your name.
Yep, it's the #1 thing, and if your name doesn't mean anything, you have nothing, right? School to me was always a system. It was a process. Like, they just stick you in the system, and whatever spits out, good or bad, it spits out. So I'm like, I want to give our kids the best advantage in life by giving them the tools to equip them to do what the things they want to do. It's not about us. We're not like teaching our agenda and things like that. I mean, they're following a curriculum, and we have a professional helping guide that journey to make sure they get the best of all of that. But for us, as a dividing, like, it's priorities. We're very priority driven.
The Dealmaker's way is through expansion. Mark is building and leading conferences that attract people from, someone who's just starting out to big industry names. Every person on stage at his conferences are vetted, established. They're leaders who demonstrate mastery in their niche. Totally and passionately committed to serving. Guys like Matt or Maurice or Nate and so many more, including our friend Sean Whalen.
How many of y'all want a huge multi-million-dollar nugget right out of the gates? Copy what works. Copy Mark Evans. Copy what this guy is doing. I think me and Mark met probably 5 years ago.
Oh, that long?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Give or take, five or so years ago.
Gotcha.
He slid up in the DMs. No pun intended. Either that or I did. We don't know. We still don't know who did. I don't think either of us have the patience to go back and look through all of our messages to see who the first person was that slid up in the DMs. Mark's one of the realest dudes you'll meet. Like, Mark genuinely, he doesn't need anything from anybody. He doesn't need anything from me. you know, and he's just constantly adding value. He's truly like one of my best examples. You know, he's taught me significance of really investing in relationships and truly caring about people. Like, there's no ulterior motive. I don't need anything from you. I'm not trying to get something and rope you in, but he truly cares about people, and he gives so much time and energy and effort, not just to other people, but to me. And it's been our friendship, our relationship has become invaluable to me.
It's a neat place to be in life where I get to wake up and work with my best friends every day. The guys inspire me, the gals, they're seeing them hang out with their kids, being able to spend more time with their family, become better husbands, better leaders, better mentors, better, you know, at their church, at their schools, at their community. They pressure me to do big stuff. I pressure them. Like, we're winning, and we can help other people win along the way. Guys, literally, they can call me whenever. I can call them whenever. More importantly, they'll actually answer, and I'll answer. That's a big difference. Like, hey, I just made $1 million today. And then the guy on the other phone, i.e. me, is like, why didn't you make 5? What held you back? You know, you told me you were gonna make 5, you only made $1 million. You can't go sit down at the local VFW and tell them you made $1 million, because they're gonna be like, dude, you're rich. You know? So now it's gonna mess with your brain thinking you're doing something big, even though you're 20% of the goal of what you set out to do. So they're borrowing my belief system to execute in their life to get the results they want. And it's never about the thing. It's about the unlocking of the brain, right?
Chapter 3, Focus versus Distraction.
We all get pulled in for different day-to-day things that are, you know, whether it's family or the businesses that we're trying to run, and then we kind of look past it like, what else could we do? We all realize like the only thing in the way is us.
I've always believed in learning from people that are in a position that you want to be in. Why not copy and paste something versus trying to recreate the entire system?
The big difference between those with lifestyle and no style is focus. What are you focused on? What are your priorities, and are you committed to them? Or do you let fun events, TV shows, lesser important things get in the way?
There's no one in the DM community that hasn't missed family reunions, hasn't missed, you know, big events with their buddies that are going to the next sporting event, you know, because we have to work. We have bigger dreams than dealing with the next winner of a baseball game or football game. Make you a priority, not the sports a priority, not these things that are not priorities that mean nothing. Dude, no one's coming to your grave and saying, wow, this person knew everything about so-and-so. They don't care. They're gonna talk about what you've made an impact in. And they're gonna talk about whose lives you've changed and what you're up to and what you've done for yourself and what you've done for others.
There's a problem, he's got a solution. We're not gonna like ponder on the problem, solve it, move on to the next thing. Always in a great mood. I mean, he could be on the phone with a lawyer fighting a lawsuit and walk out of his office and he's like, hey guys, you know, it's me and the kids, and you would have no clue.
The success does leave clues. You know, everyone's sitting there trying to figure it out. You know, you gotta find someone going what you wanna do and ask them for advice. And in my experience, they wanna help them. The problem is most people are asking people for advice that are not where they wanna be. So they're gonna give you different type of advice. They're gonna say, no, you can't do it. Just, you know, be grateful for what you have. We have one life. I wrote a book called Magician vs. Mule, and I talk about thought auditing. Okay, I'm living this life every day, but what am I thinking about? Where do these thoughts come from? So like they're living, now I'm living, but I'm also thinking about how to live differently, live bigger, live better, just different. Like, where did these thoughts come from? My grandpa was working, 3, 4, 5 jobs, never home, only 2 days a week. He got to hang out. He was hanging out every day. You know, so because he was working smarter, just different.
Are you working smarter, where you're focused and you're on point and you're producing results that people are in awe of, like the magician that he writes about in his book? Or are you being the hardworking mule, doing all the lifting by yourself, not trusting anybody but you, unable to grow, so focused on hard work that you are totally dropping the smart work?
You got to brainwash your brain. You know, the truth is everyone thinks it's more learning. It's a lot of unlearning you got to do. You know, I grew up kind of the way we grew up, right? Like, it is what it is. My life does not look like this financially. It's different, massively different. It's not bad or good, it's just a different life. So, but I had to unwind all the stories I was seeing and taught. Like, if you drive a nice car, you're a bad person. How do we know? We don't even know. If you have a big house, who'd you screw to get that house? You know, like, these are like gut reaction things that were, you know, like my whole life around uncles and family. Like, this is it was like not a big deal. It's normal talk. So I had to unlearn that because I wanted those things.
It's actually really heartening, and he loved it, but Mark's small town mindset was a distraction, kept him small. To make sure to stay focused on his goals, he knew that he needed to be around a different environment to push him. Mark worked hard to confront or unlearn the mindset that's got in his way. Distraction can take on another form. A lot of times you will not even realize how distracted you are. And this is one of the great things about being part of the DM family. You kind of look in the mirror and say, I got some shit to change up here.
I remember going to the first conference that we went to, and all the guys got up and we drew out our business models. And it was like, you know, draw like whose name is in whose position, you know, COO, CEO, you know, assistant, project manager. And all the guys went around the room and drew all their, you know, names and everything on there. And then I walked up to the front of the room and did one big circle and wrote Austin Rutherford in it. It's kind of like an aha moment for me. You know, I was doing okay, you know, making, you know, decent money, but it was just me. I was working 16 hours a day, you know, literally every day of the week. And just seeing that you can actually like outsource something was a big eye opener for me. It's really allowed me to be able to scale and get out of my limiting beliefs of, you know, having to pay somebody else versus seeing that as an investment.
When Austin was able to see his limiting belief around having to pay someone versus it being an investment, he was able to grow exponentially.
I was probably flipping 10 to 20 houses a year because, again, it was all me. I was running materials, I was running paperwork, I was making phone calls, I was doing offers, like I was doing everything. After connecting with him, actually starting to hire a team, you know, project managers, assistants, acquisitions teams, cold callers. You know, our biggest year, we probably flipped wholesale or, you know, bought rentals, maybe 100 deals in a year. Definitely grew. You know, every year, you know, over the last 7 years since I've been in business has grown financially. That's been huge.
You see, one of the greatest superpowers is the ability to maintain focus. By staying focused, Mark was able to go from someone who had no silver spoon in his mouth, really a nobody, and build his way out of his small town and build into a bigger world, grow the Dealmaker empire, thereby creating a ripple effect. So guys like Austin could have a ripple effect in his family, in his extended family, in his business, in his market. This is the singular goal of Mark the Dealmaker.
Tiger Woods, he's golfing. He doesn't need a coach to change his golf game. He needs a coach to tweak his golf game and to make him a better player. I hope they outgrow me. You know, that's the best thing in the world. And with that mentality, we typically grow together. You know, it's not like, oh man, I got to keep them just below me so they have to keep paying me and this and that. It's like, no, dude, I want you to grow bigger. We all have different goals. Maybe they want to be a 10 billionaire guy and I only want to be $1 billion guy. There's no right or wrong to this. Maybe you want to be a 100 millionaire person. Maybe someone wants to be a 10 millionaire person or a millionaire even. Everyone can fit in this picture that I just shared with you.
How you feel about your mentor is not as important as if you believe that they will guide you to greatness.
They got me out of my comfort zone. I hated my football coach because he's like, you got to run this lap. You can run faster. You can do this better. You can I'm like, no, I can't. I'm all tapped out. And then you do it. It gives you confidence. You know, this is how you gain confidence is through, you know, pushing yourself to new limits. And there's failure inside of that too. But there's failure knowing now you reset, and ideally just pushing up the thermostat or pulling it down a little bit more every day. So, you know, I want you to succeed. It's like us being outside in the sun. You getting a lot of sunlight doesn't mean I can get a lot of sunlight. We both can get a lot. You know, so success breeds success if you're with the right people. And if you're hanging out with people, you know, my buddy Tim always calls it the crab mentality. When you're trying to get out of the thing, they're like literally pulling you down every time you're trying to get out and escape. Because if you stay in that cage, you're donezo, right? And they literally will pull off each other's limbs, you know, to keep you in there and isolated. So, you know, you got to do that. And oftentimes it's family, people that you love the most. And, you know, you love them so much, you got to let them go.
For me, a deal maker is somebody that focuses on the impact. Impact is more important than profit. When you impact a person's life, you're a true deal maker. And by impacting somebody's life, the money will come.
Our relationship with anyone in life is what we choose. Even how we interpret things that occur on a daily basis can massively impact our sphere of influence. The smallest shift from things do not happen to you, they happen for you, is an important distinction inside of the Dealmaker philosophy.
Don't think we're not all afraid. I'm afraid as I scale. I'm afraid as we grow businesses. I'm afraid as we deal with situations. They're definitely afraid as well. We're all afraid. We're all afraid. The question truly at the end of the day is, what do you do when you're afraid? Do you shut down, make excuses, complain, don't do anything with it? Or do you find great mentors, great people to help you, guide you through the journey, expedite you through hell, you know, in the process of whatever you're going through, and get results? The only way to lose the game we're talking about here is you quitting.
Chapter 4, Impact versus Victim.
Stop making fucking excuses. You said the same thing when you had a dog. You said the same thing when you had 3 jobs. You said the same thing when you're sitting at home on your mom and dad's couch. When does the excuses stop? If it becomes a priority and you want something to do with it, you go make it happen. It's never convenient. It's not going to be easy. Who said it was? We don't make excuses. We execute. It sucks. And then not only that, do you even really want it? If you really want it, you're going to find a way to get it. And it's the same people saying, oh, I have kids and this and that. He knows I'm getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. I got my thing in the morning, she's got her thing in the morning, and afternoon, boom, boom, boom. The parents that are sitting there making excuses, when do the excuses stop? Stop taking vacations. Start working at 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock to midnight when they go to bed. I know it sucks, but guess what? That's what it has to take. When are you going to stop making excuses? If I believe I can accomplish something, there's no excuse that's going to get in the path of accomplishing something. And I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, Mark, it's easy for you to say you got all this money, you got all this help. You know what? You're looking at fast forward 26 years later. You saw earlier, I didn't come from money. I had to work my ass off to get to where I'm at today. I'm sitting here with 2 amazing kids and an amazing wife and an amazing life. Why? Because we put it together.
All too many people can relate to the fallout of the 2008 real estate market. Whether you were a kid being evicted from your family's house or a multi-unit investor losing everything, there were more than enough excuses for failure to go around.
This was a very bad day. The National Association of Realtors reported the worst month-to-month drop in existing home sales since they started keeping track in the late 90s. And compared to last year, closings are down more than 25%.
And this takes us to Tim Bratt, a member of the DM family, who's an example of someone who did not become a victim in this very real circumstance of the real estate market collapse.
When I was going through college, like 03 to 07, the real estate market was going crazy. And everybody's like, if you want to make money, get involved in real estate. When I graduated from college in 07, and I thought you got involved in real estate by becoming a real estate agent. So I got my real estate license. And in October of 2008, the entire market collapsed. I had shown up to the party, knocked on the front door, opened it up, and everybody's running out the back door saying, run from real estate, get out of this industry.
You see, rather than seeing the collapse of an industry, Tim saw the opportunity, an opportunity of a lifetime.
Property values started dropping and things started popping up on the MLS. I didn't have any money. I was a 23-year-old kid at that time, and nobody was gonna lend me money.
I didn't have anybody who would invest money with me, and I just pulled out my credit card and I called up MasterCard and I was like, I need you to increase my limit. They increased my credit limit to $15,000. I had asked for 100. I think I went $100,000, and they said absolutely not, but they gave me 15 grand. And with that $15,000, I found the cheapest house on the MLS, which was 25 grand. And I made an offer at 12. They came back at 20. I came up to 14, which was my maximum allowable offer, and they accepted it. I did the carpet, I did the paint, I did the fixtures, I did the landscaping, and then I bought some of these yellow bandit signs and I stuck them all around the road, and I held an open house, and one of the neighbors came in and bought that property that I was all into for about $19,000, and they brought it for 33 grand. I remember thinking, like, the sky is falling in the real estate industry, and yet I just made the biggest check of my entire life.
This launched Tim into creating a great success. And even so, he was struggling with how to grow it bigger without doing all the work.
I'm personally managing my entire business. I'm personally doing everything on those deals. And I was like, I've seen these people with these big businesses, and I'm like, how the hell do I go from here as a solo act to get to that next level? I couldn't figure it out.
A chance phone call from Mark about a group of properties Tim was selling happened.
Mark inquires through Craigslist, and he actually shoots me a message, hey man, can we hop on a phone call? It's like the afternoon in Eastern time, and I didn't know where he was at the time, but as I'm talking to him, he's like, yeah, I'm interested, what do the numbers look like? We're going back and forth a little bit, blah, 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 blah. And he showed genuine interest in some stranger that he'd never talked to before, right? And we talked for, it was a while. It was probably 30, 45 minutes or something. And he goes, hang on a second, I gotta take a shot. And I was like, dude, what are you, drinking right now? He's like, no, I'm on the golf course. I'm actually out in Hawaii, and just got married a couple weeks ago, and I've been out here for about 3 weeks. We're heading out to Bora Bora next week, and we're gonna spend another 3-4 weeks out there, and then, I don't know, I might hit some other stuff up. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? You can go away from your business for 6 to 8 weeks at a time and it's still operating? Like, you're either like completely full of crap, or you know something that I need to get my hands on, like some information that I need to understand and I need to get my hands on.
Tim ends up asking Mark for advice on really just how he can achieve this type of freedom.
He tells me I gotta hire somebody for $36,000, and I need to join the DM fam for another $30,000. It's $66,000. It's more than half of what I made the previous year.
Tim ended up joining the DM family. Everything and everyone around his life has been positively impacted.
You know, it's funny, when you're looking back at your life, there's certain things, and if that one thing didn't happen, where could I be? And when I look back at my life, one of those things is taking that phone call from Mark Evans and agreeing to come out to Mastermind in February 2015. I hired an assistant, took action, hired an assistant by March 1st, and the next 10 months, I made 3 times as much money in those 10 months than I made the entire year previously. And I correlate that directly to the insights gained from these masterminds.
I heard mastermind, no clue what that meant. I just thought it was a made-up word to have an excuse to get together and just
Did you
party.
think we talked about business at all?
I assumed you guys chatted about business because that's kind of like just what you guys talk about. When I started meeting some of the people that you were associating with, like Mark, I realized, oh, this is the key.
It allowed me to make more money, build a better lifestyle, bring home my wife from having to work a full-time job, and be able to spend more time with the family. That's what it's all about. There's no shortcut to success other than being in a mastermind, right? Other than being in these rooms. That is how you consolidate the timeline in order to reach the next level and the next level and the level after that.
I believe people that are on the path of greatness and growing have the most resistance because you're aware of it. That's why you're getting resistance. The universe is saying, does Mark Evans believe his own bullshit? Is he really going to get up with missing 2 teeth being kicked in the face? He just got his knees taken out from under him. This guy just ripped them off. This guy just stole from him. This person just, took his clients and blah, 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 blah. I look at that in a moment and I get very calm and say, thank you. This is happening for me, not to me. Now what am I going to do with it? I can control my emotions. I can control my actions. And most importantly, I can control my destiny because I'm in charge.
One of the consistent stories within the DM family is when someone's light switch is turned on, everything starts happening in multiples, leveling up 3 to 5 to 7 to even 8 times the size they were in previous years.
Getting around people doing way bigger stuff than you, you don't want to be in a group of 5 guys and they're all talking about getting a quarter raise and you make 50 cents and now you're the king of them all.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we're all still broke. We're at Applebee's half off. We need to be at the steakhouse.
Chapter 5, cash flow versus no flow.
Most people they want to hear the answer, but they don't want to hear the answer, right? So but when they do, and you see it flip, this light switch, it's game over. It's another world. It's neat just to see them just evolve out of the next level. They got 1 or 2 streams. They come here for a year or 2, and now they got 7, 8, 10 streams of income. It's pretty cool. Gives you a little bit more confidence, a little bit more focus.
Most people are not able to objectively evaluate themselves in the environment they are in every day. It's nearly impossible to make quantum jumps forward on your own. You see, the DM environment is a fertile ground for growth. You are in the space of giants who are leaning in, taking risks, and connecting with people who are living the life of their dreams.
What's going on, guys? I'm Terry Summers, the owner of the Ohio Home Company. Been in real estate for the last 10 years. I think the first time I heard Mark Evans' name was in 2015. And he was Mr. Columbus. I mean, this dude was legend of lore or something like that. I remember I didn't understand this whole work from your laptop, this whole virtual thing. I'm like, how is this guy doing this amount of deals, and he's not even there? When I had an opportunity to go to an event or seminar, I just jumped at it, And now it's crazy just to look, 4 or 5 years later and be like I can't afford to not pay for this.
Terry could not even imagine the business and life that would be accessible to him after becoming a deal maker.
As I'm working in the fitness industry, I have this side thing in real estate going on too. I'm like, how can I make enough money in this real estate thing passively to where it replaces what I'm doing actively over here in the fitness industry? Once I can get 30, 35 houses, I can replace my income from this real estate thing. I mean, one house after the next, and learn how to creatively finance these real estate deals. It took 4 years, but 4 years of buying houses, and I was able to, leave the corporate thing, really just create my own company. Because and one of the things is I never worked for a company that I felt proud to work for, and I wanted to create a company that I was proud to be a part of, I was proud to put my name on, and other people were proud to put their name on. We got some deals? Yeah? Talking about what we got. I was building a business with no exit plan, with no strategy to get out of the business. So one of the things I learned just from that call is you want to build a business, but anytime you get into an investment, you get into a business, you got to figure out, how am I going to get back out of this deal? How am I going to get back out of the business? The place called Thurman's, because it's Thurman right here. It's Thurman Cafe. It's literally our most iconic restaurant. To this day, we still do our Father's Day and birthdays there. And what's crazy is now I own one of the largest office buildings right by Thurman's and all these beautiful houses. You think about it enough, you tell yourself it's possible enough, it becomes real. You speak this stuff into your own reality. Met my wife in this park. It was our first date. We walked our dogs together. The fact that I'm here now is, I don't know. You think about this stuff as a kid, and you're like, it's not possible. What do these rich people do? Right. And they end up landing somewhere that's pretty freaking cool.
Mark's impact has been pretty incredible. and the hard work and dedication to excellence has been truly life-changing and felt by so many others. Just imagine what your own possibilities are.
Being able to be at work with my dad, be able to spend time with my dad, has been one of the coolest things, man. That's actually my old man over here. What's up, old man? You loving life? That's it. This used to be an apartment unit that we grew. We had 10 people in a 2-room office, so we were all just on top of each other. So this room has been a work in progress. We call this the boardroom, and we're actually getting a mural put right underneath here. But you know, I mean, this says it all right here. Like, why be average when you can be a legend?
Terry is still jamming. He's building his empire, has tight relationships with his family, and is living the life of his dreams, activating what he calls legendary status. Isn't that a great life? What is a life worth living anyway? Are you going after your own legendary status? Truth is, if you don't, there is a strong chance that you will be forgotten.
We're not living forever. You know, I don't even think people even know that's a thing. You know, I think they're, you know, I see so many
They
people
get too
walking
wrapped up.
Yeah, they're wrapped up. I think they literally act like they're living forever. I see so many great people minimizing their dreams and goals and taps. And every time you do that, you lower your standards. Today's the day I hope people realize, like, I'm worth more. Not I'm worth more, I should get more. I'm worth more and I'm willing to work for more. When you do that, it really does unlock the keys to greatness, the keys to another level that you don't even know it exists. Because if you did, you'd already be there. It's like people are very problematic with small stuff. All they do is talk about Mickey Mouse problems. They're talking about Mickey Mouse opportunity, and they wonder why they have Mickey Mouse money in the bank account. It's because you're like, what do you expect is going to happen? I don't want to hear about it. I just get it done, no excuses. And sometimes it seems cold, but you got to be thinking, right? You got to be aggressive, and let's focus on big stuff if we want big results. Yes, you could be out in the deepest of the seas. You could have many sharks around you and whales around you. You could have the best bait, but you came not equipped to catch what you went out to set sail for. Who wants to be a millionaire micromanaging everything too? You have no life. You're stressed out, you don't trust anybody. You know, it's just not fun. And you think the guy making 20 million a year is killing it, dude, he's probably more scared because he knows what he's capable of, and he also knows what he could actually lose. So when you call for help, that's like the biggest flex in the world. Calling a guy that's above you, calling for help and say, yo man, I need help. They're not gonna say, ha ha. They're gonna say, absolutely dude, how can I help you? That's our personalities, that's why you're making moves. But for some reason that gets lost at certain levels.
And looking at how Mark's built a legacy, he strongly believes in the value of relationships and bringing others along the ride. He is a dedicated family man, yes. He also greatly values supporting others in building their legacy. And soon, you could be on your way into the DM family as well.
Relationship capital. I'm in the game of life forever. And I'm very crystal clear this is a lifelong game, not a short-term game.
1, 2, 3.
Chapter 6, Legacy versus Forgotten.
The man, the myth, the legend, the scholar. You're truly a good man. I love you, bro. I appreciate you. You're adding incredible value to the universe. You've changed everybody's lives in here, including mine. Guys, will you please join me in giving a toast to Mr. Mark Evans? Salud. Salud.
You know, my fear is these guys do get left behind. They're listening, but they're not executing. Listening and doing are two different things. I think what's cool about entrepreneurship, it's a long-term game. You know, people playing short-term will always lose this game, you know? And now, cool, you made $5 million, now what? Like, you're looking over your shoulder the rest of your life, you know, for $5 million. These guys, like, dude, how do we go to billions, you know? With the lifestyle intact. I think that's the important key, too, is like, lifestyle first and then business second, you know?
we can make more money going to a corporate office, sitting in a big building, traveling all across America. I have buddies travel 300 days a year. They have no life. Well, that is their life, right? They're wondering why they have 2 divorces. Kids don't talk to them. I mean, it's like, dude, it's obvious. Like, what are you doing? But they can't get out of it because they're not listening. They're addicted to it.
Mark's way of life embraces legacy building. As witnessed by so many of you watching this movie, his life and so many of his mentees are living proof of a bigger, truer legacy.
Picture you're crushing it. Say you have $100 million in the bank, but you go to your big house, no husband or wife, no kids. They don't even know what you do. They don't know who you are. They don't know anything about you because you've literally like just done your thing. There is a point in time to be selfish in life for yourself, for your family, but not overly selfish where you abandon your family, you know. And I get it. We all get consumed with stuff, but this is again back to priorities, non-negotiables. My kids come to me, Dad, I need you. I'm in. Period. You know, Daddy, help. I'm in. Like, what do you need? Don't be the guy or gal sitting with a lot of money in the bank and you can't enjoy what you like. Listen, why are you doing all this? I'm doing it all for legacy, family, to grow. Don't fall in love with the money. Fall in love with what the money ultimately you're trying to accomplish, and that's time with your family. That's what I'm all this for, right?
What matters to you enough that would be worth reinvention? Are you one of those people that thinks you have the time? Are you present to time passing you by?
Mark talks about, you know, building that giving muscle. That's been, to me, the biggest thing that I've learned from it. You know, when I was kind of, you know, talking to, let's say, the boys, my wife's out, you know, talking to the women and, you know, kids and stuff like that. And it was something that was kind of a different perspective because we haven't been to a lot of masterminds outside this one that had kind of what we call a retreat, where you bring your families and you kind of hang out a little bit. And so that was, to me, that's always been a highlight. And I always cherish making sure I can bring my family as much as I can.
I genuinely think people they think they're going to live forever. I really think they believe that, you know, and the problem is when you realize you're not living forever, it's probably too late.
I've always believed in learning from people that are in a position that you want to be in.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to be around people that genuinely want to see me succeed, genuinely want to make my life better, and genuinely are here to help me.
The one thing I always tell people if they're joining any mastermind is it's an investment. Don't look at it like as a cost. If you look at it as a cost, it's, you know, you might not last a long time. If you look at it as an investment, it's an investment in yourself, one, but an investment in, you know, learning how you can be. It's kind of like the book, The Go-Giver, is learning that ability to be, you know, giving more of your, sometimes not even money, it's time, but money does go a long way. But, you know, time is actually a big thing that still people, maybe that don't have money, they still don't give that time. So that's one thing I've learned. In addition to, I feel like it's, if I'm telling someone else about it, is the benefit with just getting to know a lot more people. It's, again, building that relationship capital.
You're probably thinking, I'm stuck at this dead-end job, Mark. It's, you know, you don't understand, I'm working double shifts for 40 hours a week or 20 hours a week. Again, this journey is not convenient. It's going to be challenging. If you want a hard life, do easy stuff. If you want an easy life, do hard stuff. It's going to put pressure on you. I don't care about your degrees. I care about your hustle. I care about your determination. More importantly, I care about your grit. You're going to stick through things. Create a plan, execute the plan. Use your kids as your fuel, not your excuse. Find what drives you and go to work. You know, we started small town. You saw where my first office was at my mom and dad's house, my bedroom, my office in my dad's garage, to the progression of where we're at today, the treehouse office. If you're sitting there at a taco joint or a burger joint, there's nothing wrong with that. Use that, because at least you have a job. You can take that money and learn about investing. You got to start feeding the brain. If you're even watching this video, you have information that the majority of the world doesn't even invest their time in. So I congratulate you on that, because you can take this information and know that you can do better. And it's not you deserve it. You only deserve what you work for. You only deserve what you put in. So don't use it like, oh, well, you don't understand, I work really hard, I deserve it. You don't deserve dick. You know what you deserve? A kick in the ass to get to work. Get aggressive. Like, this is your life. You have one shot at it. That's it. No more, no less. And if you don't get after it today, right now, when are you going to?
Thank you for being and witnessing this experience. I hope you have enjoyed a small and brief window into the preview of Mark Evans. And so as you sit back, you gotta ask yourself this: what kind of deals are you making with your life, with your family, with your partner, with your business?
Probably $100,000 a year on mentorships and education. Again, I want to learn from somebody who's doing what I want to do, and obviously he was doing that.
Life is a function of the deals that you've made with yourself. And the hope from this movie is that you start making better deals for you, for your family, and for your legacy. You can either choose to be forgotten, or you can be remembered.
Why I like the DM fam and why it's so beneficial is, there's not a one-size-fits-all blueprint, because we all have different businesses, we all have different strengths, we all have different things that we're good at. Mark calls them unique abilities. It's figuring out what does the blueprint for you look like in your life, in your business, and then reverse engineering that. And what's great about it is because you have these 33 other board of advisors, if you will, they're able to help you reverse engineer that too.
I want more friends. I want more people to know. I want more deals. I want more opportunity. I want more access to money. That's what this is about, to connect with you. And my agenda is simple: to connect. I'm looking to build more relationship capital every single day. The more people I can connect with, the more opportunities I have. Guess what? We can all accomplish more of what we're trying to do. You need money? I might have it. And if I don't have it, I might know someone that has it. You have money, you need opportunity, I might have it, or I might know someone that has it. Like, that's the way this works, And I don't know where I'll meet you. I don't know if it'll be at an event. I don't know if it'll be at the beach club. I don't know if it'll be at a yacht in the middle of the Caribbean. I don't know. But I do know this: when we meet, I want us both to be moving forward. I want us to be growing together. I want us to connect, boom, and make the moves that we know we're capable of. Lives will be changed.
Sometimes you need people to believe, a little bit more than you do from time to time. He's always been that guy for me, so appreciate you, Mike.
What do you love most about your parents?
I would say everything.
Can't tell you what a generous, selfless, not selfish man that he has proven to be. I mean, he just extends his generosity to everyone, especially the family. He's always including us in everything, not ignoring us. It's just overwhelming, really. We're blessed very much. Thank you, Mark.
Your mother-in-law can back you up like that. That's a good thing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you guys so much for being here. Tim, you guys here? Terry, you guys hear me? What's up, Tim?
Great job, man.
Definitely.
Honored to be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a part of it. Tim and I's known each other for over 10 years now. And it's exciting. So I appreciate all the conversations in the chat over here. What's up, Terry and Austin? One thing, you guys were watching the chats and everything. It's always interesting to me. You see people, the way they talk, but if you take note, pay attention to their name: Panda, trash, scam, blah, blah, blah. Think about a human being that names themselves something like that, how they think. I have empathy for individuals like this because I know their life sucks. I know it's hard. I know people can't count on them. I know they're laying in bed trying to figure out how to pay their bills, and no one will trust me. No one will count on me. No one will give me a chance. It's like, dude, you're not even giving yourself a chance. Why would I bet on you? And these might be grown men, grown women, grown adults, period, right? So it's a very interesting mindset. And that's really what this is all about, right? What you guys say is, mindset. I mean, none of us should be here, right? The truth is, we're all one bad decision away from never being here, being dumb knucklehead kids, sitting on the top of a car, mailbox bash in, fall off the car, hit your head, boom, dead. We all we're all very blessed to be here at all many levels. So it's very interesting to see the way people talk out loud. And if that's how they're talking out loud, I could imagine how they talk to themselves. I don't know what you guys think. So I would love for you guys to ask questions. We have questions. We have Tim, Terry, Austin are here. Austin's in Columbus right now. Terry's in Key West. Yesterday was his birthday. Tim's in the Carolinas. I'm sitting here at Parkland, Florida, upstairs in the office. And love to hear what questions you have about your business. If there's anything, any of us, Tim's very heavy real estate, Terry's real estate, Austin, real estate, management, raising capital, focus, building a business, guys. By the way, you're looking at everyone we've messed up a lot. That's the only reason we're here. And we're still messing up, and we're going to continue to mess up. But it's like anything in life. You got to progress, it's progression, not perfection. And so many of you are so afraid to get judged. One thing that kept coming to my mind is stop sharing big dreams, big goals with small-minded people, right? I call it the king of the dipshit mentality when you're hanging out with people. And I get it. I've been this guy. You're hanging out and you're sharing these big ideas, big dreams, and they talk down to them. They minimize them. And you you feel weird. And you're like, dude, I can do better than that. I know I want more. But yet you're telling the people that, truthfully, most of the time it's people that care most. They love you the most. It could be parents, cousins, friends, mentors, or whatever that means to you. And they're telling you this stuff. And you're like, but I just want a better life. They don't know how to get it. Therefore, they minimize it, because if they knew how to get it, then they'd have to address that and confront that. It's real, right? It's like asking the 400-pound guy how to lose weight. I want to get in better shape. It's scary. It's hard. You got to make a decision. But if you guys get nothing from me ever, everybody watching, I just want you to know it only takes one person to believe in you. One. That's you, though, first. You got to believe in yourself, because no one's coming to save you. No one. And all of us has had a hand up, not a handout. We're hand up guys. Like, we're very, conscious of what we're great at. We get to work. We're not afraid to work. We've missed a lot of things to get to where we're at. And we push the needle. We've had very dark times, very scary times. Many people here, I want to be an entrepreneur. Okay. Well, true entrepreneurship is not as sexy as it sounds online. I always say, if you're not laying in bed, scared to death, dry heaving, probably crying, wondering how you're going to pay your bills or pay your team or pay your contractor or pay your mortgage and all these things, you're not a real entrepreneur. You're a wannabe, or you're a think it's easy thing. And then you quit. The truth is, most people never even make it to that point. Why? Because they quit before they get there. And that's where the real change happens. That's where the real magic, where you dig so deep that you have to figure it out. You have to get in the game. You have to step up. You know how hard it is when you're going through the trenches and nothing seems to be working, and you're like, what am I doing? Everyone around you is like, I told you, you should have got a real job, get a real life, get stability. And it's like, you're building it, you see it, but we got to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes it's foggy for us and we're doing it. So sharing with other people that have zero vision or very small vision or very cloudy vision, they'll never understand where you're going. And that's okay. I've been doing this 29 years. All of us have been collectively many, many, many years, and we're still foggy sometimes, but we're not sharing it with people in the fog, in the trenches. We're sharing it with people that's higher, sees around the corners, having conversations, calming us down and talking us through the process. So I'd love to, Terry, They want to know your last name. Austin, Tim. Tim, real quick, can we go through the line real quick? You guys want to go through Tim? Start there, and how do you suggest or recommend for people just to start their business journey?
Yeah, man. So Tim Bratz, my background is in commercial real estate primarily. Started out in residential, scaled up into multifamily, done pretty much everything commercial, bought over 6,000 doors. Current portfolio sits around 3,000 rental units. So I also have a management company. I also have a coaching business. I also have a media business. I also have a software. So done a couple of things. They're all in line with what I do though. So, and I think that's one of those things for me early on was like, I knew what I was good at and I knew what I liked doing. And where those two things intersected is what I stayed in the lane for. And there's a lot of opportunities out there. There's a lot of things that can make everybody a lot of money. But the reality is an unfocused person can go into the right vehicle and not make any money. And so just staying in your lane, like real estate makes money. You know, it builds wealth. You know, it maintains wealth, right? Certain businesses are great vehicles for making a lot of money, and entrepreneurship and business ownership. It's just, you can't jump around. And, you know, there's a principle that's scientifically, I mean, there's books about it, right? Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Blink, and the principles around the 10,000 hour rule. And the 10,000 hour rule states, in order to become an expert at anything, you need to dedicate 10,000 hours to doing that. So if you're working full time, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, that's only 2,000 hours. You got to be full time, all in on something for 5 years before you ever become an expert and you really start seeing this snowball effect and the really like the momentum that starts to catch. And you shovel shit for 5 years before you actually see, and you know, you'll have little successes, you'll have a lot of failures, you'll do a lot of trips. And the reason you don't see more people getting ahead in business or getting ahead in life is because they don't dedicate a full 5 years to something. And it's that principle in every business that I've seen takes somewhere between 3 to 5 years to start building that momentum, right? 3 years if I'm really dedicating 60, 70 hours a week to it, and I'm all in thinking about it as us crazy entrepreneurs can be. And if it's more of a, you know, part-time is 40 hours a week for me of how much time am I dedicating to that business. Like I don't see momentum in any of those businesses until 3, 4, 5 years into that. And so having that long-term vision, I think, is critical in anything that you do, a new business venture. And for me, in joining like the DM fam, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it for minimum 3 to 5 years. And because I know that's when the momentum catches. The first year you're planting seeds. The second year you're cultivating those seeds. The third year you start harvesting those seeds, but it's not until year 4 and 5 you really start being able to consume from all those seeds and the harvest that you had. So getting yourself in the right rooms, staying in the right rooms is just as important as getting into the right rooms.
Absolutely. Well, we all know this. What's interesting to me is, you know, you guys, most people have children here, is if your kids are playing sports and you have a little bit of money and time, you will literally spend every dime you have to get them a coach, to give them an advantage in the game of life in their sport. But when it comes to yourself, we've been programmed to think that, you know, these guys have so much money, why don't they do it for free? It's like, why don't you work for free? Right? It's not about the money. See, everyone makes it about the money. Of course, I'm exchanging my value. I know my worth. I know my value. So yes, there's a fee. Do you call Apple and negotiate and not pay for your new iPhone that you're watching this probably from? What about that fancy computer, the fancy TV, all these subscriptions? Do you discount those? Do you negotiate those? You know, you have to invest in yourself. And I'm amazed that people in this journey, they just don't understand what they're worth. You know your value, but you don't know what you're worth. And I think if you really understand that, because we got some good questions about like what business I should start and all these things. So Terry and Austin, anything on your side? I know you guys are watching the comments and Q&A as well. Love to get your insights.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is like, you know, I've been in the group, I don't know, 7, 8 years now, and the word that keeps coming back true to me this year is focus. You know, throughout that time, I've done a lot of things. I've wholesaled, I flipped, I bought rentals, I built new construction, I tried a whole bunch of other businesses outside of real estate. And like, I just think like how how much more trajectory we could have had, like if we actually stayed down and stayed focused, right? So that's really, kind of the takeaway that I've had for this year. And reading through some of the comments, if you just dial in on something and actually give it your all for an extended period of time, like Tim said, I mean, it's amazing what can actually come from that when you have that focus. So, I mean, that's what I'm on here for this year. So, it's just cool seeing, all the impact that you've made, in the comments for different people. And just, grateful to be here, man. So keep being you, keep being amazing, bro.
It's awesome. Thank you, man. You too. Terry, what about you, buddy?
I know it's probably super loud. I'm with my wife right now in Key West. We got the most quiet seat down in Key West. But it's so funny, man. My parents, my dad was one of those stock. And our parents, they hated each other growing up, which is super ironic, right? And my dad's from it was just crazy.
It's hard to hear you, Terry. It's hard to hear you. Maybe shut your video. Oh, okay. His wife said, "Get off the phone. I'm on vacation." I'm not sure what he was saying, but I'm sure he'll be back on in a second. But real quick, guys. So, what advice? Okay, I need help acquiring. Rob's asking for my existing business. It's a great location. I also need help with assessing the deal too, from a genuine, caring approach about my perspective. Well, there's a lot of stuff inside of that. I'm not sure. Are you trying to be convinced to buy it because your perspective, right? Are you trying to talk yourself into it? Or are you asking for permission? A lot of times people are asking for permission to do something they know what they should or shouldn't do. They're just looking for an scapegoat to make, to say yes or no. I don't know what it means, honestly. Acquiring capital for an existing business, you got to sit down and understand what type of business is it? What is the ROI? What's the cash? What's the business look like? I would caution you, if you've never ran a business or owned a business, to be very careful. I know it's all hot, right? We all know this. It's all hot. Buying a business, how amazing it is. I can tell you right now, I've lost business and lots of money in businesses, acquiring them that weren't ran right. And but the thing about real estate, what's cool, because again, I've been doing real estate 29 years, is I could buy a crappy house for $100,000, and if I don't do a good job, it still has real value, right? So if you buy a business for $100,000, let's say, and you have to borrow money and do all these things, that business could be worth a lot. It could be negative. It could be negative. It could be massively impactful to your financial. It could be financial disaster for a long time. So just be cautious and don't jump on the bandwagon thinking it's cool and it's hot and it's sexy. Now, don't get me wrong. My first thing I did 2 days after high school, I bought a seamless gutter company for $1,000 down, total $25,000 over 5 years. But I worked. I mean, it was 80 hours a week minimum. So you just got to understand what you're getting yourself into and understand the downside. Probably all of us, right? We're very good at the upside and getting excited about where we're going, but we sometimes forget to look at it and see where it could go if it goes south. You know what I mean? So how'd you recommend turning the followers of K9 Heroes for Heroes into donors? Recurring donations is our biggest hurdle. Joe's asking. You guys met Joe at the DM event last year where we raised money for Blueberry. You got to ask. It's uncomfortable in the beginning, but if you truly believe these animals are helping change people's lives, and you're an animal lover, and you're doing an amazing job, you have to find people. And by the way, everyone loves animals practically. If they don't, they're just not good humans probably. But I don't have a dog. I don't want a dog. My kids do, but I already have enough going on. I don't need a dog. But you just have to constantly be asking. And you have to figure out, you have to be marketing. You're you're marketing all the time. You're everywhere. So, and you have a great following. You just have to find what makes them tick. It's not about you. It's about them. And there's a great story of a lady that started the running. I forget what it's called, but she raised many millions of dollars helping homeless run. Because she figured if I can get homeless people running, I can give them confidence to get back on track in their life. And I always say, keep your feet moving. So she went out and found CEOs of massive companies that were runners, because it's passionate and you understand and appreciate running. So she went and learned how to raise tens of millions of dollars. So you got to find people that love animals, go to dog parks, let them know what you're doing, and ideally find wealthy dog lovers that are veterans to know, like identify exactly who your niche market is. And I would attack them every single day through conversations, text, emails, videos like you do me, Joe. You send me great videos all the time. Do it to them. Hey man, just so you know, every dollar counts. Here's where every dollar goes. Here's what I'm thinking about. Hey, appreciate you. You love your dog. I love my dog. Here's what we did this guy's life, and this, a lot of cool things you could do, Joe. I don't know if you guys have any insights, but
I got a thought on it. The power of social media talking about it. I remember the event in Cleveland, from stage off the hip, I think it was 25, 30, $35,000 that you raised from a simple ask. And, being able to do that through social media as well, right? It's 600 people in a room, you got millions of people online, many, many millions. So, there's a guy that I forget his name. There's a guy out of Cali that I follow. He trains dogs to how to I don't know the terminology, but like heal and like trace, like protective types of dogs. So I think if you can tell a great story online about what you're doing with these animals, and the storyline's amazing, right? You're helping, I believe it's very, if I'm wrong, but it's like that's an amazing storyline as well, right? So if you can talk, if you're able to share, how the training happens, which I think people would be very curious, including myself, about, and then show the impact that those people have as well. You got to find a way to become better at social media to be able to have to be able to get more views from that. I think it would grow organically that way, in my opinion.
yeah, that's great, man. Yeah. Jennifer, John said, "Hey, Mark, well done. Thank you. Many real estate members, any marketing guys in the mastermind? All of us. We're all marketing guys and gals. So the answer is yes, but we don't have, we have several marketing guys that own businesses in the marketing niche. We're talking about a lot of real estate. That just kind of happened, actually. It wasn't no internal thought to that. It was just, these are guys we've worked with. I mean, I have a lot of amazing DM family, DM Alliance community members. I wish I could do, no one wants to sit here for, 3 days listening to that process. But, inside the community, there's so many amazing people at so many different verticals and businesses. Whatever you can think of is going on inside these environments. So, and if we don't do it, we know someone probably that does that. But yeah, there's definitely a big need for marketing. Everyone wants to do better at marketing. Jennifer's saying the more revenue we bring in, the more is going out. So I'm having a hard time getting ahead. What advice do you have for me with that? I would ask you where are you at in the journey of the business? Sometimes during the bridge, when you're at the $1 to $3 million range, depending what business you're in, it's very difficult, and you better have a very clear path of where you want to go. Because if not, it gets very exhausting. Because like I'll use real estate for easy thing. When I was doing 2 deals a month by myself, making 40 grand a month, let's say, it's easy, right? I can work, I can make calls, I'm in control. But then it's like, okay, I want to go to 5 deals a month. So I hire one person, and then I'm making less per deal because they're not as good as negotiating. I got to go do this. I don't have my eye on the things that mattered in the beginning. And then I want to go to 10 deals, 12 deals, 20 deals, and it starts scaling. Now I'm spending more money on marketing, a lot of bleeding out on the back end, wasting a lot of resources of humans and softwares. And you're spending gobs of money, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm spending 100 grand a month. I'm only making 80. And that's where the real journey, that's where the real entrepreneurship starts taking. Because now you start asking yourself, what am I really good at? Kind of what Austin's going through, the new focus discovery. What am I really good at? What do I want to do? What do I want to have at the end? What's this look like? And just really putting rubber to the road. And by the way, I've been there many times. Tim, Austin, everyone a part of any business growth has been in that situation. But you definitely have to, what are you spending the money on? Biggest thing, I fired one of my bookkeepers back in the day. I was in trouble. I was losing money. And she said, Mark, you have to cut marketing immediately. And I said, you're fired, because marketing is the bloodline of our business. See, the thing is, in business, when I make money today, I didn't make money today. I planted the seed 30, 60, 90 days ago, and it took time. So a lot of people are making decisions today based off of their emotions and feelings and financial situation, not looking at the proper KPIs. So they're pulling the plug on the thing that actually is going to feed them tomorrow, in 30 days from now, et cetera. So I'd be very cautious and careful in making sure you identify what these, levers are. Tim, Austin, you guys have anything on that? You guys good? No? All right. I had a bridge gap loan guy that strung me along, and I don't want to miss out on a deal. A 15-year computer biz. Rob, welcome to lenders. Bridge gap. They put you in a big gap when they bail. I would recommend. I mean, to all of us here is raise money. If you're trying to raise $1 million, raise 2, 3, 4 million to get $1 million. You get $4 million in commitments, maybe $1 million comes through. This is where I messed this up and I lost. Hence why I got to wear a hat. I have no hair left. I literally used to, like, if someone said I'm in for 100, I'd go out and do the deal, thinking they're in, because they said they're in. Because where I come from, you say you're in, and then it comes time, and then boom, they're gone. So I was always playing catch up, and it's very stressful and taxing. So always over commit the opportunity, and then put it out to them and let them come to you. Because if not, you will put yourself in very bad positions often, if not all the time. I mean, you guys agree on that?
I think what, there's been a lot of comments of like, what kind of business, where should I focus? Where should I dedicate my time? Dude, if there's a skill set, right? If you don't know what kind of business you want to be in, but there's a skill set that you can go and develop, and you're trying to just figure out skills and then see where you can park those skills. I think raising capital is the most important actual skill in any business. It doesn't matter what business you're in, doesn't matter what industry you're in, doesn't matter what level of business or industry. If you're doing $1,000 deals, $1 million deals, $100 million deals, or $1 billion deals, if you can learn how to raise capital, you will be valuable in every business, in every industry, in every economy. And so by learning this skill set, by learning, like Google search, YouTube, like there's YouTube videos that I have on how I raised $4 million in 48 hours. Austin's got a fund where he's raised tens of millions of dollars. I've raised $150 million from individual mom and pop investors. Mark has moved hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate to individuals through private money and private funding opportunities. So it's like, if you understand how to raise capital and deliver a service and deliver value to those investors, what are they looking for? They're looking for only a handful of things: predictable returns, equity upside, maybe some tax advantages and depreciation, right? Security of principal, and just making sure that you're able to help formulate their future and their predictability of income in the future. And as long as you understand that and you go and find opportunities for people to then deploy their capital into with great operators, need to be really, 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 really good operators, or you need to be a good operator. If you're not, and you're bringing money to other people's deals, make sure they're great operators. That skill set is something that you can learn and you can develop, and then you can figure out which industry you want to be in. But it's an unbelievable skill set, and you will have huge, huge advantages and be able to pretty much write your check for however much income you want to make in whatever industry you go into, if you can go and raise money and private money from individuals.
Yep, absolutely. Austin, talk about like your first deal when you raised money. Why would someone give a young kid, tell them your age and what you did? And, I mean, dude, you're doing valet.
Yeah, valeting cars. I was 21 years old. Got my first deal, $74,000 purchase, $170,000 renovation, so $250,000, and put the deal in contract. My mom was I was just writing offers, trying to buy any house I could, and my mom was like, what happens if all these people accept? I was like, I don't know, I'll figure out the money part later, and put the house in contract, and then I had to figure out the money part, and called everybody I knew, and got no's. And there was a lady I met a year prior at a local RIA, and we just had conversation, networking, and she mentioned that she just rolled her IRA to self-directed IRA to invest for herself. So when this deal came about, I picked up the phone, called her, and she was able to fund the deal. Flipped the first house, made over $100,000 in profit. And it's funny, she never asked me my age, and years later I asked her that. She was like, I never asked you because, one, you were in the rooms that I was in, so there was a feeling there. I trusted you, and number two, you actually knew what you were talking about. If they ask you a question like, "Hey, how is my money secured? Is it secured? What do you pay? How do you make sure that you're able to pay people?" And you don't have questions for that, you're not going to be able to raise money. So the education and learning about private money is the first part. And then it's just, building relationships, talking to people, presenting the opportunity, like Tim said. The amount of people that want payback of principal and consistency of payments is the majority of people nowadays. So if you can again, learn private money and how to have conversations in that manner. Raising money is not the hard part. You know, it's the right operators, finding the right deals. Money's the easy part if you have the right deal.
Yeah, it all comes down to the deal. More importantly, it comes down to you having the confidence to talk about money. You guys understand, we've been trained not to talk about money. It's like taboo. You don't talk about what you're earning. You don't talk about where your struggles are. You don't talk about where you're vested at, what you're, all this opportunity. So, I mean, until you get over yourself, and then once the opportunity, the deal is going to give you the confidence to step out in faith a little bit more. It's like, I have a house worth $100,000. I need to raise 50. It's not a hard conversation. Any person in their right mind, if they could buy something for 50 cents on the dollar, you can raise money to do that. Now, am I going to give it to you? Maybe. If not, I might buy it from you for 60 and you make 10 grand. So it might not turn out the way you thought initially in the first deal or second deal or 10th deal, but you're going to learn and you're going to earn through that process. And you might earn insights, you might earn money, you might earn both at the same time, but you're going to be presenting opportunities. I would ask everyone here, I don't care what you're in. I would challenge you to contact 10 people and talk to them about money and watch how you feel. See what they're up to. Where are they investing? How's the market treating them? Are they interested in any blue collar businesses, real estate opportunities? Where are they investing? Do they do creative terms, creative financing? How much cash do they have? Is there IRAs? Once you start talking language, it's called voice tracks. Once you start learning about money and getting in a better relationship with money, you're going to realize there's a lot of money out there, trillions of dollars out there. The question is are you going to have conversations with people about it? How many people have you talked about money about? How many people have you talked about buying something from them about? Very few people are doing this consistently. This is all I do all day, every day. Tim, Austin, we're talking about money with contractors, talking about money, title companies, lawyers, private money, deals. I mean, constantly. So it is absolutely amazing. So get out there and talk about money for sure. I'd love for you guys to, what questions do we have? Sean, is it, they're talking independently. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Here's the Q&A section. I'm sorry. It's pretty cool. I've got a text message from my sister, how she's proud of me. That's the first time she's seen the documentary as well. I thought most of my family would disown me by now. By the way, and Tim, Austin, I'm sure you guys still get this. We still get people look at us like we're crazy. True entrepreneurs are crazy. They're called eclectic when you have money, crazy when you have no money. We're eclectic. But also, people are always going to talk down, but that's on them. Just remember, what they say out loud is how they think about themselves. Because there's no one in my world that would ever, if you're talking down, you're out. It doesn't exist, right? We're going to give you peer pressure in a positive manner. Like, oh man, I'm thinking about doing a deal for 100 grand. Cool. Have you thought about $1 million? Why are you doing it there? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Not like that won't work. No one will give you money, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, be careful asking your family for money. Tim, you can talk about your dad even about that. Like, you gotta understand, they remember you as the snotty-nosed brat kid that always got in trouble. So it's their, we all have this vision, the story. So it's really hard to transition that. Tim, can you talk for that on a second?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been doing real estate in the industry since 2005, buying and investing since 2008, 2009, and then buying apartment buildings since 2012. And my dad's not super wealthy, but he's got a couple of bucks. He's kind of like that millionaire next door, right? Saved up, lived on less to give us more, and then just saved and saved and saved and saved, and was always very money conscious. And so he's got some liquidity. He's retired now, and he's had 2 amazing careers, and he's in a position where he could invest, right? His money's in the stock market. He complains about the volatility of the stock market all the time. He's loved the gains, but now he's like all stressed out about it. And dude, I remember, so there's 2 things that you need in order to raise private money, 2 characteristics that you must encompass in order to then have influence to then be able to then raise private money. It's trust and respect. If you don't have trust, or you don't have respect, or you don't have both of those things, you will not be able to have influence in anything that you do, and you won't be able to raise private money because you need influence in order to raise private money. So trust and respect. My dad trust me, right? I'm his son. I'm the executor of his estate. He's seen what I've done in real estate. He sees me on stages. He sees me on all these podcasts and documentaries and things along those lines. And it's funny though, he trusts me, but he still doesn't respect me from a real estate professional standpoint. Like I would go to him and say, "Hey dad, you want to invest in some stuff." He reminds me, or he remembers me of the kid getting in trouble in high school for toilet papering people's houses, or getting arrested for underage drinking in college, and all the failures in business before I was ever successful in business. And so when I asked him to invest in a deal, I'm like, dude, just throw some money into this deal. It's predictable. It's in your own backyard. You can go to the coffee shop across the street from it all the time. I was like, the minimum investment's $100,000. He goes, fine, I'm in, but only for $50,000, right? And it took him until 2020. He only invested 5 years ago. I've been on this journey for 20 years, and it took him 15 years to then come in for a half commitment on an investment. And he hasn't come into another one. He's just like, that's just how he is. And so I have trust, but I don't have his respect, and he does now. If I asked him for money, he absolutely would, but I just don't try to muddy those waters. And then at the same time, I could run Facebook ads, tell people how great I am, and pound my chest about how I've owned 3,000 apartments and this huge multi-$100 million portfolio and all the stuff that I've done. And they might respect me because I've done those things, but they don't know me, so they don't trust me. And because I don't have both trust and respect, I don't have influence, and I can't raise capital that way. And so if you're going out and you're talking to people, realize they see you for who you are. And if it's a long-standing relationship and you haven't been in real estate or you haven't been in business for a long enough time to then command enough respect from them in business, it's going to be hard to raise money from those people, right? Like what's the saying? Jesus had to leave town in order to go and become a prophet, right? Like they all knew him as the carpenter's kid in town. He had to leave in order to then go to other towns in order to then be seen as an actual prophet. And that's similar in business. People who know you for a long, long time know you for you until you've been in this business long enough to develop the reputation and the character and the respect that you can demand because you've given the time, because you've dedicated enough effort into being in that business. So work on the two best ways to develop trust and develop respect is to educate and to inspire. Share stories all the time that are inspiring other people, pouring into them without looking for anything back. By you and like trying to inspire other people, it builds a lot of trust. And by you educating other people on social media, if you're walking a property that you're flipping, if you're meeting with a vendor in your business, if you're meeting with a client, if you're meeting with the customer service, if you're like, whatever it is, document what you're already doing and educate while you're doing that. If you do that, you'll command a lot more respect because now people know that you know what you're talking about and you're proving that you're a professional in that space. Educate and inspire, you'll develop trust and respect, then you'll have influence and you can go and achieve whatever you want.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I mean, dude, it comes back to the thing again, how we've been trained, stranger danger. You know what I mean? It's like the strangers have your money. Go get it. You have to have conversations. You have to, like you said, build trust and respect.
Dude, think about this, Mark. It's a great point that you just made. The strangers have the money. What were we all raised? What did our parents all tell us as we were growing up? Don't talk to strangers, dude. Stranger danger. Don't talk. Guess what? Mark was a stranger because before he was one of my best friends. Austin was a stranger before we were boys, right? And speaking on each other's stages. Everybody that I know was a stranger at one point in my life before they became a business partner, a client, a private money investor, a best friend, my spouse, right? Like they were all strangers before I ever met. Like, talk to strangers, go talk to everybody and develop relationships with all these people. Like you're holding yourself back. And we all did it because we were all told the same nonsense stories growing up. You should talk to everybody all the time.
Yep. What we're talking about though is stop being so transactional. We talk a lot about relationship capital. And when you really do care about who you are and where you're going and you're in it for the long haul, we're here forever, guys. There's not one person in my world that's ever retiring. It's going to look different in the future, but we're never retiring. We love what we do. Why would you stop doing what you love to do? Every athlete would play the sport of they love if they could, if their body could hold up. We're in business. The cool thing about business, we actually get better the longer we're in. Our body might not hold up as good, but we get better financially, mentally. We see things different. We have way deep connections, and and we just hunker down. So relationship capital is a very important thing to be thinking about on this journey. Meaning, if you make connections, you shake someone's hand, you say you're doing the deal, do it, or don't shake their hand and say you're in. Like, your word is your bond. Like I talked about my son on the thing, your word, if you don't have that, you have nothing, especially in business. By the way, you might think you're getting away with it there. I promise you, the way real relationship capital is, I've had 3 people vouching for me and I'm vouching for them today just on deals, big stuff, multi-millions of dollars of deals daily is happening. Yo, man, is this guy real? Yo, is this good? Hey, would you put your money here? Hey, what do you think about this? Like, deep relationship capital is a genuine thing. And you guys all do it, by the way. The problem is most people are doing it. They're talking negative about other people, right? I'm just saying, get connected and know, like, this, like, you're learning every day. There's no such thing as rejection. It's just misdirection. I got to redirect. Right? You're not with your spouse because the first person you asked to go out on a date married you the next day. No, you had a lot of, well, I hope not, because if so, you probably want to reevaluate. But you have to look at these situations and understand, like, it's a process, it's a journey, and I want you guys to be on the process. So we're big opportunities for everyone involved. Someone was asking about, dude, there's so many questions. I'm sorry, I can't. How do I fast track my real estate acquisition business? I'm 21 and trying to hit my KPI every day, but it's tough, and my mom and family really don't support or see the vision. Emmanuel, what is tough, and what KPIs are you trying to hit? What is tough? What KPIs are you trying to hit, and how long have you been doing it?
To chime in on that, I think it's easy to see it deep into the business, right? I've been doing this a decade. Tim's been doing it 20. Mark's been doing it 26. Some of those numbers might be skewed. 29. But I remember the day I decided real estate was it for me and I was going all in. I hired a mentor, put $25K on a credit card, and I thought I was going to get rich overnight, right? From that day it took me 16 months to make my first penny in real estate, right? And I wasn't kind of doing real estate. I was going to college full time. I was valeting cars full time, and I was doing full time real estate. From 5-6 p.m. to midnight 2 a.m. I was making calls, looking at houses, handwriting letters for 16 months in a row, and I didn't make any. I literally didn't do a single deal. And finally, my first deal broke, and I made $107,000 in net profit, reinvested it, and then the business blew up after that, right? So, I always hear people like, oh, it's not working, or hey, I tried this, or I tried that. It's like, how long did you try it for, right? How much money did you put into it? I put every single penny I had into marketing. I was living with my parents, and I ate Wendy's dollar menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I spent maybe $5 a day to survive, and every other penny I made went into marketing. So it's like, when something's not working, how long have you actually tried it for? And are you actually putting in the right actions to get there? It's easy to see something. It's like, oh, well, X, Y, and Z is crushing it. It's like, okay, well, how long have they been doing this for to be able to quote unquote crush it?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing is, they see where we're at. They forget where we started. And guys, you're stealing from yourself and your future, and it crushes your soul. It really is. It hurts you more than helps you. Yes, it's cool to use us as inspiration maybe, but you got to realize this stuff takes work. It's like, if you're out of shape and you see a guy or gal that is ripped, shredded, that doesn't happen overnight. It takes years, right? And a lot of effort, and a lot of times you don't want to even show up, but you just show up. You know what I mean? So I think you got to be very cautious of that. I mean, Austin and Tim, if you guys would let people know how they can follow you on social media as well here, and we'll keep answering some questions.
I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put
Okay,
it.
cool.
I'll put.
Yeah, you guys should follow these guys. And Austin has pictures of him sitting in his mom and doing direct mail. You know what I mean? So it's inspiring. You should use that as inspiration, not where we're at, where he was at. That's the moment. That's like when you're sitting there. By the way, you guys might be today even. You might be thinking, oh yeah, I'm working really hard. I bet most of you don't even know what the hell hard work really is. Truth is, most of you fuckers are soft as hell. Like for real, I'm being straight with you because I care. Like you're soft. Well, I'm working so hard. Show me hard work. I'll show you for real what hard work is. Go dig in the coal mines. Go do some real construction work for 16 hours a day. Have 2 kids at home. Have a spouse at home. Trying to figure out how to put food on the table. That's real hard work. You sending out a direct mail, getting scared because you're afraid to send an email or do a social media. Like, dude, give me a break. Like for real. Like it's sad because a lot of you guys, you're stealing from your future when you do this. You're better than that. Don't let that be you. So when you're sitting there and you think you're doing hard work, just know we're doing real hard work, right? When you're sitting there and you're like, dude, I'm scared. Just so you know, we're all scared. We're all scared, but we don't let the fear control us. We know when we feel it, we actually step into it. We lean into it. We don't run away from it. Most people run away from it. It's sometimes easier it feels, but in the long haul, it's definitely not going to serve you. So just be cautious with that. As we said, lots of people are messaging, but like, just real quick, and I want to answer a lot more questions. But like I said, none of us are ever retiring. We're in this game forever. I'm hardcore relationship capital. I want to work with great human beings. I know Tim, Austin, like we get to work with who we want. That's the beauty of actually accomplishing success. Saying no to people we don't want to do business with and saying yes, we want to do with certain people. But if you guys want to roll and have conversations and see if this is what we do, I have a group called the Dealmaker Alliance. You can check it out, dealmakeralliance.com. Sonia can have a conversation with you and see if it's a fit. It's not high pressure. It's $1,000 a month. It's $12,000 a year. I truly believe it's the best investment in the world. I know what's going on in the community, the connections, the resources, the opportunities. This is, you have to get qualified in, by the way, having a conversation, step one. And it's not for everybody. Like if you're not a true entrepreneur, we don't want you in there. Not because we don't love you. It's because we do care about you. We don't want your money. We don't want you to be in there disappointed, upset. Like that's not what we're in this game for. We're looking for people. If you have opportunities of deals, if you have some cash and you're doing deals, there's opportunities for you. Like it's literally endless. What advice do you have transition to working on your business instead of in your business? Jennifer's asking. Just be careful with that question. I love it because I think about that. I wrote a book called 10-Minute Business Owner talking about that. But also, you don't want to leave your business too soon because I remember the question you were asking earlier about the money thing. You will have real money problems real quick if you leave too soon. So I would actually hunker down and learn, get uncomfortable doing SOPs, processes, and all that fun stuff that no real entrepreneurs want to do. But we have to do it if we want to grow. Because if not, you're just going to get smoked on the backside. Austin Daniel said, I can compare to Austin when he said in the video that he was the man dragging materials to all his first flips and doing solo in business. How did he bounce beyond this point? By the way, every single person in every business has been there. That's how you get there. That's how you get to where we're at. There's no cheat code. You have to do the work. You have to understand what it even takes, right? So how did you get beyond this point? First of all, that's another thing. We're not beyond that point. If we have to do it, we will show up to the job and do it. The good news is, ideally, we don't have to, but we are not afraid to do it. You know what I mean? There's no job in our business that is beneath us. We're all on equal playing grounds. This is a leadership. This is a standard that you must set for yourself and for your team as you're scaling. But Austin, on the journey, when you start, what was your first hire and transition to start handing over some of that stuff? Truth is, Austin's at home doing this shit right now. True story.
Yep. We loaded thing. How did it start? Tim kind of mentioned it, hiring an assistant, paying someone $30,000-$40,000 a year was a lot of money. And I was like, I can't afford that expense. And Mark was like, it's not. So if you do $36,000, it's $3,000 a month. I was thinking of a $36,000 expense. Mark was like, no, it's $3,000. In 30 days, you're gonna know if it works or not. If it doesn't, you fire him. You lost $3K. If it does, they'll make you 3 times that. And that was the first hire, was an assistant. It allowed me to just focus on basically sales and getting projects done, right? All the back end, the paperwork, the things that have to happen but that aren't generating revenue, is where that came into play. And to Mark's kind of later point, I made a post the other day, like, business is like, real estate's amazing, right? You can make a lot of money, you can create a lot of cash flow and wealth from it. But like, there's downtimes as well, right? You just got to have more uptimes than downtimes. I'm back in Columbus for a couple of weeks, handling a couple of things that went sideways. And like, at the end of the day, like, if things go sideways, like, you got to step in, right? What are we going to do? Throw in the keys? It's like, all right, yeah, I'm done. Like, no, we're not going to do that, right? That's how we got here, is because we're willing to put the time, energy, and effort in. A lot of people aren't. So, it's all part of the process. It's all part of the game. People people think that I know I thought early on that like guys had it figured out. The people who made it, they had it figured out. Nobody fucking has it figured out, right? You think you do, then you get punched in the face. You're like, well, that didn't work. But again, you just got to be willing to get back up and keep taking it and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like, that's why you got to be around good people because we're all dealing with it, right? And we're all in different seasons. The bigger your group, Tim might be crushing it, I might be getting beat up, and Austin might be in the middle of the road this month. Next month it might be totally opposite. Like that's why you got it's ebb and flows. It's called life, guys. That's the thing is, right? Life happens. No one's 100% at anything. It's very tough. A lot of moving parts, a lot of life's happening, right? A lot of people have challenges. One for Kevin Stein. I'd like to hear what you guys think too. He's like, hey, I opened my LLC. I'm currently working on a prototype to patent, hence the LLC, but I'm still trapped in the rat race and I can't see a way out. How can I get out? Would it be possible to do it this year? My thought is the answer is yes, you could do it this year. That's a long time. Tim, you have that statement about, what people, over shoot for, all that, exactly what I'm talking about because we talk about it all the time. You want to share that because I think there's some great value in that.
Yeah,
but also, Kevin, go ahead.
People overestimate what they can accomplish in 12 months, but they grossly underestimate what they can accomplish in 3 to 5 years. Like this momentum is insane, right? And so an easy goal, an easy target though, is leaving your job. Replacing your income is easy. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. Hopefully you're taking notes on this stuff, right? Because these are all 9-figure business owners and going to 10 figures. Over and over and over again, this has been mentioned, but I don't know if it's plainly enough for you to write down and take notes on this, but write down revenue generating activities. For me early on, I was very confused about, here's my goals. I was very goal oriented, but I didn't understand the goal isn't the activity. And when I didn't hit my goals, I'm like, why didn't I hit my goals? Because I was trying to measure goals, but the goals are the result of doing the activity, and I wasn't measuring the proper activity, which is the metric that leads the action that you can control. I can't control, let's use flipping, doing real estate deals. I want to buy one house a month. I can't control if one house a month closes because there's title issues, there's crazy sellers, there's funding issues, there's liens on properties, there's all these different things that can pop up after I contract a home. You know what I can control? I can control how many offers I make. And the more offers I make, that's the one KPI, that's the one metric, the one revenue generating activity to sourcing more deals. And if I'm focused on that one revenue generating activity, eventually I'll do enough of it. I'll make enough offers where a ratio will appear. And for every 100 offers I make, I'll close 5 deals. And so now I have predictability in my business. Now I can actually plan accordingly of what my real goals will be because I have this ratio that I can work off of. And so if I want to close a deal a month, I got to make 10 offers or what, I don't know, whatever the numbers were that I just said, 50 offers and close 5 or whatever it was. So just figure out your numbers, figure out your metrics. And I would go in without having any expectation of how many deals you're going to close, right? Just start making offers and make a commitment to make 100 offers a month or 200 offers a month without the expectation of getting any deals. So that way you're not let down when you don't get 100 deals out of it, right? You just go in saying, hey, I'm going to make 100 offers just to see and figure out what my ratio is. That's my goal here. And so let me make 100 offers, see how many turn into contracts, see how many die in due diligence, see how many get to title, see how many actually get funded and closed, and then see how many of those were actually good deals versus moderate deals versus bad deals. And now you've got a ratio that you can work off of and plan for. And now you can hire that sales guy. Hey, no problem. I'm going to pay you commission. You got to make 100 calls every single week and close this many, and it's going to yield this many deals, and then you're going to achieve this much income, right? And now you have predictability, and you can help cast a vision for everybody on your team and understand what a real good foreseeable business looks like. And so again, it takes more time, especially in 12 months, but I'm telling you, this stuff compounds fast after 12 months.
Yeah, everyone talks about compounding money. What about compounding efforts, right? The most of you here listening to my voice, you're really consistent at being inconsistent. If you got consistent with the things that mattered, by the way, you would be massively bigger 12 months from now, with no question, without a shadow of a doubt. But you have to do the work. And that's what most people are avoiding. Like Tim said, the goal is cool. but doing the work to get to the goal. By the way, I got to figure that out in the gym, but like that is the problem, right? You got to do the work. And it's just the consistency and and by the way, that's just one piece of it, right? While you're doing that, you got to hold this other side up, and you guys got to really see what you're made of. And that's the thing. Is another thing I want to be very cautious about is setting up an LLC, setting up your business card, setting up your CRM, setting up all the, you spend so much time on stuff that will never matter ever, because you'll never become a business owner. You're going to just waste money on stuff. Why not focus on, like Tim said, the revenue generating activity? Just make 10 calls a day. 10. Well, you have a job? Cool. Make them on your lunch break. Because you make 10 calls a day, you might get 2 answers, right? You're not talking to 10 people. I don't care how good you are. You call 10 people don't answer. So have conversations, set the stage. 5, okay, well, I'm a family man. I'm trying to figure out balance. No, it's about priorities. Have a conversation with your spouse and your kids. Hey guys, mommy, daddy, we got to work, hunker down. I'm changing. I'm growing. I'm pushing. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be focused on this. I'm not going to be 100%. I can't hang out and watch Netflix for 3 hours tonight, every night moving forward. I'll have dinner with you, and from 7:30 to 9, daddy's got to go to work. I got this, right? Trust yourself. Do the work. You will get the results. You won't even know how massive this really is. It changed your life and your family's life. If you went back to zero, I get asked this oftentimes, so this is always interesting to me. But if you went back to zero tomorrow, where would you start? First of all, no one goes back to zero. We have relationships. I would tap my relationships. I would sit down, true story, I'd grab a piece of paper, and I'd use this amazing thing called a pen with ink in it, and I'd write down, what am I good at? Where is my value? What is that worth? And then I'd have a hit list. I'm going to call Tim, Austin, Steve. I'm going to hit him up. Hey, Tim, what's up, buddy? Hey, I'm helping some business owners grow. Here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm looking to do. Do you know anybody could use some help? Guys, every entrepreneur needs help, me included. So if you're solving a problem and he knows that I can solve the problem and there's a value to that, they'll pay. Solve the problem. Next. You guys, real business guys, how many financial money-making move decisions are we making every day? From contractors to contracts to hiring to firing to taxes. We're dealing with so many moving parts, and most people aren't making even one real decision.
Right? Dude, and I want to piggyback on that, Mark, is like when you come to a guy like Mark and you say, hey, Mark, let me know how I can add value. You know what Mark doesn't need is something else to think about or do to figure out how he can give you more work, right? What Mark needs is for you to very clearly define how you can provide value in his life. Hey, Mark, listen, if you need a social media person to run your posts, to do this, to reach out, to get you on more podcasts, like make a list of all the things you're good at, assuming you're good at social media or marketing. I can do all those things for you. And by the way, I'm not even looking for any compensation or hey, Mike, I usually charge $5,000. I'll do it for $1,000. I'll do it for free access to the DM Alliance, or I'll do it for free if I can piggyback on this, or if I can come out to this event, or if I can, hop on a phone call with you once a month and just give me some coaching on it. Or like, I don't know what it looks like, but figure out what you're good at, figure out how you can bring value, and then propose that to a guy like Mark. So that way he can very clearly say, you know what? Now I know exactly where I can stick this person in my business to promote this company or that company or this aspect of a product that we're launching. And it's very easy for him to then figure out how to help you get ahead, or how some introductions that he can make for you. Hey, listen, I don't really need that right now, but dude, you should talk to so-and-so, because they would be ideal. And by the way, their business is crushing it. They will pay your entire $5,000 a month. Boom, if you close 1 out of 3 of them or 2 out of 3 of them, you got an extra $120,000 a year coming in revenue because you were clearly defined in how you can add value to other people's lives.
Absolutely. Like picture this, like everyone's a homeowner or knows what a home is, right? Like if I was a roofer and I was driving by, and I don't care if I know the person or not, I'm driving by and I see a hole in their roof and I know a storm's coming in an hour, I'm going to stop by and say, hey, I was just driving by. Do you know there's a hole on your second floor? I got tools in my car. I can fix it really quick, or you can like deal with the insurance company because the rain is coming. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars and deal with multiple headaches, or I can fix it right now for $100. You just became value, as opposed to like, hi, Nancy, I do roofing. Do you need anything? Like, dude, Seriously, like be direct, understand exactly what the value is and provide it and just be confident in it, right? And what's the beautiful thing about this, everything we're talking about, is if you do a good job for me, guess what, Tim? Everyone we're rolling with, we're going to say, dude, they're crushing it. And or Tim will ping me and is like, dude, who the hell's doing your new social media? Because I need that person now. Or as this example, right? So there's so much of that goes on behind the scenes because it's so hard, guys, to find amazing human beings that actually want to work and do a good job and take pride in what they do. So when we got it, we talk about it and people and it gets noticed. That's what makes it massively valuable for all parties involved. But if I went back to zero, that's exactly what I would do. I would
Hey,
get with
I want to address this because I've been there, right? Like if you read the whole thing, it's like, man, I'm behind on the house payment, car note, barely any food in the fridge. Due to a bad business investment, I put everything into it, and due to trusting the wrong person, it went south. Where do you go back to? So, dude, I got involved in real estate. I had 10 rentals at the age of 25 years old. Had more residual income than what my business expenses and my personal expenses were. I wasn't rich by any means, but I was technically financially free by the definition. And I thought I was, some hot shot business guy. And I started going and getting into other businesses, and I got distracted. And I started chasing other shiny objects, thinking I'd make more money doing less work somewhere else. And I ended up going completely broke within 24 months. I had sold off all 9 of the 10 rentals. And I had 25 grand in credit card debt. There was $80 in my bank account. That's it. I was paying for gas with the coins out of the cup holder of my car, right? I'd go to Subway and order a foot-long sub for $5. I'd eat half of it for lunch. I wouldn't eat again until the next day at lunch. Not because I was fasting. It wasn't fasting back then. It was called being broke, right? So that was my life. And dude, I sat back and I realized, like, I need to be humbled, right? And so I sold the last property I had, which was my primary residence. I made 50 grand on it. And I moved back in with my parents at the age of 27 for another little over a year and a half probably. And then after that, when I met Mark, I was living in my wife's, we just got married, my wife's grandparents' house, which was an 800 square foot house, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, in a very, very B- part of town. And all because we didn't have any rent to pay. We just had to pay for utilities, taxes, and insurance, right? So guess what? And by the way, I got rid of my Mercedes that I had, and I took over my girlfriend's dad's 2006 Honda Accord, right? And so I got humbled and I ate shit for 3-4 years, but it made me a better steward of capital, and it made me better at trusting myself and being more confident that I had more control, right? Like you're saying that you're in your position because you trusted somebody else. That person didn't burn you. You trusted them. That was your decision because you gave up control over something, right? And so I don't make that mistake anymore, right? I've learned my lesson from that. And one, you got to take 100% ownership over it. 2, be humble, sell the fancy stuff, right? Like get back to getting your head back above water, and then focus on the revenue generating activities, man. Just start hammering. And the revenue generating activities of prospecting. It's always pick up the phone, like Mark said, right? And just making phone calls. It's prospecting for deals. It's prospecting for private money. It's prospecting for hard money lenders. It's prospecting for, business investors or venture capitalists or, institutional debt or whatever you're looking for. And then it's prospecting to, find a better team. It's prospecting for a better, refinement of your processes and all those kinds of things. But just be prospecting all the time for deals and money. Everything else falls into place because in business, revenue solves all problems. So if you're generating revenue by doing revenue generating activities, then all your other problems are going to go away, man.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think too, if anybody's dealing with a bad partnership or loss, there's still people using the 2008 real estate crash as a reason why they can't make a move yet. Listen, acknowledge it. It sucks. You're in control. And what you do from that point of acknowledgement is up to you. And if you make the decision to keep harping on it, thinking about it, talking about it, giving it energy, it's still stealing from you because you're letting it. Make a decision to use that. I like to use like that as fuel, pissed off, and I'm going to go earn. I'm going to get bigger. I'm going to show them who's boss. and I use that as energy and fuel. I love negative energy as fuel. I have lots of it. I just got my MRI back. I have a chip on my shoulder for life. I can't get it off. I'm in the game. I've been told I won't accomplish anything. I've been told you're stupid. I've been told I'm done. Like, I get it. Cool. I'm in. I know where I'm going. You can tell me anything. It's like, it's just you're going to keep moving. But don't let the past steal from your future. And if you allow that, it's going to literally eat your soul away. And you're going to be wish you shoulda, coulda, sitting in the nursing home while life passes you by. Don't be that person. You're better than that. And I'm telling you, if you're still here, you're clearly better than that. And you just need to get, you need to kick your own ass and get out of your own way. And it sucks. Bad relationships, bad business relationships, personal. But don't let them steal any more from you. They've stolen enough from you. Go get the money, create the opportunities, and build a life. It's your time. So again, I'd love to, if there's any other questions. Do you guys see any other questions? I see so many. I just don't even know. There's so many different sides. I'm looking at Q&A. I'm looking at chats. But again, guys, we do have the Dealmaker Alliance. I'm not here to sell you. I'm actually here. If you haven't been listening to us, we're actually probably talking you out of being an entrepreneur and a business owner. You're like, I don't want to move back in with my mom and dad. Please don't. You guys, that's the truth is every single one of us here talking, we're 100% in the game. We know that, you take your eye off the ball, we could go backwards. We understand that. Why? Because we've been there. I almost went bankrupt twice. I know we've all had hard times. So I would love for you guys, if you are an entrepreneur and you want to get in a group and you want to get around people that genuinely care for your success and want to be a part of the journey of life with good people, dealmakeralliance.com. Set up a time, talk to Sonia. It's 100% free to have a conversation. It's an investment of $1,000 a month. So if you don't have it, don't do it. Don't have a conversation. Go learn on YouTube for free. YouTube University is free. And like Tim, like all of us are saying here, just focus on the activities that are going to generate revenue potential. Like just do the work. You will make so much more. It'll give you so much more confidence. Every day you don't do that and think about it, you're losing confidence. You're losing traction. Don't be that person. Just go do the work. Yeah, there you go. On social media. Let's see. Is there any other questions? Guys, I would love to ask you, there's hundreds of people still here. What was your biggest takeaway tonight? We've been together for a little over 2 hours. What was your biggest takeaway besides someone saying Austin's very cute? I won't tell Pam on that one, but what is it? There goes Joe. Help us, those given so much for freedom of security, the K9 heroes. He's asking for money. Well, he's a fast action taker. I like it. Get my ideas watching YouTube videos was done. Yep, my idea of watching YouTube's Tim. No. Watching YouTube videos is amazing if you actually execute what you watch. Watching just a watch is absolutely fucking retarded. Don't do it. It's dumb. It's a waste of time and energy. It will actually hurt you. I'd recommend pick one person. Find out where you're trying. If you're trying to learn commercial real estate, single family investments, whatever, find that person on YouTube and go all deep in one person. What happens if you start listening to 10, 12, 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, 100 people, you're very confused. You're stutter stepping in the game. You'll never do anything because it's like, well, Tim said that. Well, Mark said that. Well, Austin's definitely not doing that. But so find one person, just execute relentlessly. YouTube is not dumb if you have a reason why you're on YouTube and you're very directional with it. It's very powerful. I appreciate you guys. Mark Andrew, thank you, buddy. Happy birthday as well over there. And focus on generating activities. School of YouTube is the best. Absolutely. Go deep on do the work. Revenue. I had cancer and chemo, gave me dementia for the last 5 years. So much I have to relearn. Okay. Sorry to hear that. Welcome. I'm glad you're alive. Now let's go live. Tim is one to listen to. Absolutely. Mark, what's the website? Thank you, Blake. Dealmakeralliance.com. Again, dealmakeralliance.com. KH, my son shares his birthday with your daughter. Awesome. Happy birthday over there. Keep pushing forward even when mistakes are made. Learn from the mistakes. Very clearly define how to add value. Revenue generating activities are gold. Tim Brods, no wonder your dad won't give you 50 grand because you moved back in with him. No, I'm just joking. Step out of your comfort zone. Get comfortable. Start educating. Guys, what is a comfort zone anyways? What is a comfort zone? Are you comfortable being broke? Are you comfortable not being able to do the things you want to do for your family? Are you comfortable being, like I said, when I was driving in the car, I was more afraid of what I knew, what you're calling comfort zone, than what I didn't know, what you're calling my scary zone, right? That's not uncomfortable. That's comfortable. If you're comfortable with where you're at, I'm not your guy. I'm not comfortable where I'm at. Are you guys comfortable? I'm appreciative. I'm not comfortable because I'm growing. We're scaling. We're pushing. I'll be 47 June 19th. Time's not on my side, right? I want to do the most I can with my life, with my family, and the things and people I care about. So it's hard to pick your hard. Absolutely, it's all hard. And again, I know Dan mentioned this here, but talking about thought audits and word audits. What does hard mean? What does comfort zone mean? What does scary mean? What does rich mean? What does poor mean? What what does all these words mean? Who told you what they mean? More importantly, do you even believe them? Right? I know most people when they say, "Oh, I work hard," they're lying. They're liars. They're lying to themselves. They ain't lying to me. I already know what hard work is. Right? You know, it's real hard when you get the call. You can help someone that you truly care about, and it costs $10,000, and you ain't got the money to help them because you didn't do the work. Not hard work or easy work. The work to make that a reality for them. It's you and you. Everyone is cool, like posting these memes. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. Are you really? Are you the one talking about it, or are you the one doing something about it? Be the one. It's an amazing thing. It's a responsibility. It's something to be proud of. If you are truly the one, carry it. It's not. Don't let it hurt you. Let it serve you. It's an amazing place to be. Yes, it's big, but it's worth it. What if a salesperson only blah, 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 make 10K a month? Congrats, Jennifer. Awesome. Okay, this is scary. It's official. I'm doing it. Awesome, Jennifer. Congratulations. I'm excited to meet you. I know you know a great friend of ours, Josh Z. He couldn't be here tonight, but absolutely excited to connect with you. Dan, that's awesome. Where's that? The only way is action. Seeing your mentors mentor and what they are being fed is amazing information, gives us more confidence. That's what it's being fed to us is valuable. Awesome. Investing in themselves. Tim or Austin. Austin, you start. Looks like you're where you at, in a car now? He's going to Wendy's to get that dollar menu. He's reminiscent over there. He's got that dollar cheeseburger on his mind. Dude, what is it? Do they even have dollar menus anymore? I don't even know. I don't think so, right?
No.
Yeah. So guys, we all got to make more money if we want to eat Wendy's or McDonald's or something. Austin, what tonight, obviously you've seen some of this and all that, and you've been a part of it, which is awesome, and I appreciate it. But what a lot of people don't know, you now have a son, right? You have all this amazing stuff going on because we shot this like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So on your side, you have any departing words tonight? Like, to like, if guys, if you're not where you're at financially, it's fine. We're all like, we've been there. Don't let this like deter you or hurt you or think you can't do it. You can be bigger than us, all of us. That's what we want. We genuinely want you to be bigger at all levels of life. It doesn't take from us if you are. But Austin, do you have any departing words or any kind of insights?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of insights comes from what you're in the middle of, right? And something that I've realized is, people always talk about like building a house, you got to have a strong foundation, right? Building a business, you also have to have a very strong foundation. That could be the right people, the right systems, the right SOPs.
Uh-oh. The neighbor pulled his he was in the neighbor's parking lot taking their cell phone, their internet.
Douchebag Andrew was right, I guess.
Exactly. Tim, what about you, buddy?
Don't tell him I said that after we kicked him out, I think. I mean, it's silly that somebody would come on here and say stupid stuff that provides no value to anybody when there's this much high level conversation being had, right? Like what are you trying to prove? Like, okay, what do you want to see? You want to see my personal financial statement? Happy to show you, happy to talk to my,
yeah, but you show them and then they say, oh, you photocopy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you made it up. He made it up. Oh,
like,
that's his buddy lying for him. Even though I talked to his mortgage broker or his banker, it's like, fucking get out of the way. So
Yeah.
I would say twofold. Kind of, you had mentioned it actually in the documentary about crab mentality. So real quick, guys, the way that they catch crabs, they put some bait in the bottom of a crab trap, right? It's essentially a cage with no top on. They lower it to the bottom of the ocean, and all these crabs start crawling over and jumping in and piling in, eating the bait. And then even after the bait's gone, the crabs keep on jumping in. When a crab realizes that there's no more bait and they try leaving, the other crabs get so uncomfortable at the change of status quo that they'll pull that crab back off the side of the cage and back into the bottom of the cage, keeping all the crabs in. They don't even need a top. And so to the point where if a crab tries to leave, they'll pull it back down, or rip its arm off, or even kill it in order to keep it in the cage. And there are people like that in your life. Andrew is that person, uncomfortable about other people talking about their successes, their achievements, things that they've done, not because they're trying to show off, but because it makes Andrew reflect and put the mirror back in on himself. And it makes him so uncomfortable that he's not trying to move forward, that he's not making an impact, that he knows he could do more for himself, for his family, for his future, for his community, that it makes him so uncomfortable. He tries to drag other people down off the wall to the point where he tries to take them out, tries to discredit them, tries to potentially kill them. There's people like that in your life, and you need to identify who in your life falls into one of three categories. One is increased association, two is decreased association, and three is disassociation. Increased association. These are the people who believe in you, believe in your dreams, support you, right? They love you. They're giving you, feeding you positivity all the time. Those are people, and people who are there where you want to be, and they're trying to bring you along with them. Those are increased associations, people you should be spending more time with. Decreased associations are people who maybe aren't as positive, but they usually have the same last name as you, and you can't totally get rid of them. So you just decrease the amount of time that you spend with those people. And then there's disassociation. I was watching the comments during this video, and I'm very quick. I understand the value in, you've heard it, relationship capital. I understand the value of people either pouring in or pouring in, nutrients into my brain or pouring poison into my brain. And I am an absolutely non-negotiable on who I let into my life today. And if they are not a positive person, I was searching the negative comments, the names of the people who were making negative comments on my social media to make sure that I was not Facebook friends with them, and to make sure that they weren't following me, so that way I could just remove or block them, because I don't need those people in my life. I would rather not have them. I'd rather have 1,000 rock star, amazing, increased association type people in my life than 100,000 followers that some of them should be disassociated. Some of them are positive associated. Some of them are limited to, no, I don't need that. I want 1,000 rock star, amazing people. And you can move markets with that amount of positivity and that amount of community, everybody's looking in the right direction, progressive minded, trying to move forward, trying to do bigger things, trying to support each other. You can move industries, and you can make unbelievable amounts of money and make an unbelievable amount of impact in your community if you're in the right rooms. And that's what I would end with. Is there was a study done, Mark and I talked about this at your house in Ohio about 1.5 years ago. There was a study done, and the question in the study was, how do you change your luck? That was the question, right? Scientifically, how do you change your luck? And for something that's so ethereal and intangible, they were trying to put something concrete to it. And they went and they researched every variable you could possibly imagine, anything that could potentially change somebody's luck. And they came down to one thing. One thing changed luck. And it wasn't even your mindset or your decisions or your choices that you make, which is what I think a lot of us would originally go to. You know what influences those decisions and those choices and your mindset is who you hang around with. Your community is how you change your luck. If you've got shitty luck right now, you need to change your community. You need to change who you're hanging out with. You need to either create your own community locally, regionally, nationally, on social media, whatever that looks like, or join a community. And I saw a question over here by Heroic Roofing. How do you up your circle the right way? I would look for the leader of that community and ensuring that their core values align with my core values. And if they do, one, core values are the most important, and two, their skill set and what they've achieved is the second most important. And if they check both of those boxes, I'm in that room. I'm making sure I'm part of that community, and I'm making sure that I'm staying in that community, because I know we all overestimate what can happen in 12 months, but we grossly underestimate what can happen in 3 to 5 years. Make sure you're part of the right community.
Absolutely. No, I love it, Tim. Tim's way better spoken than I am on this stuff. And but again, that's what's cool about it, is like, he's great at this and et cetera. Like there's a great group of people here, and appreciate the insights, Tim. And it's awesome. I think what I've learned with this Andrew guy is I got to talk to my marketing guy, Jeremy, and tell him, like, he's not doing a good job marketing. If we're attracting Andrews, I'm kind of joking. But also too, like what Tim was talking about, is this association with the individuals. We all know this. If you have a child, 12 years old, 15 years old, and they're hanging out with druggers and abusers and boozers, and there's 5 of them, and your son or daughter is the 6th one, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, it's very obvious what's 99.9% is going to happen. The odds are drastically against them no matter what. If they're hanging out in a respectful, proper, non-drugging, non-alcohol, professional, like, what do you think is going to happen? We do that. We know this with our children, but for some reason we allow it to happen in our world. Like Tim said, this is a non-negotiable. If someone's talking shit, true story, today, someone wanted to join the Dealmaker Alliance. His name is Jeff. I was talking to him, and I was like, listen, dude, you're not a good fit. I like you. You're just not for me. That's it. I don't hate people. It's because if you're not there, you're not a fit. And he's like, whoa. You're not a fit. I don't need to explain anymore. Right? I know where I'm at. I know where you're, like, just have a standard. And he was talking his I call it voice tracks. His voice tracks were off. Negative. It's never his fault. He knows everything, but he has no money. Have you ever met people that know everything but have no money? Is this weird, or am I crazy, or is it just weird? Like, they know so much. Why don't they have money? They can tell me how dumb I am, but they have no money. I have more money. Like, and it's not just about money, by the way. No one likes them. They don't have friends. They don't do anything big in the community. They have no relationships. Like, what is going on? So Tim is 100% spot on, guys. Get in the right, whatever room you pick. Like Tim said, find whoever the leader is of that room and attach them. If you connect with them, go deep with them. It's not about 30 different people. Connect with one. Good stuff. Austin, what about you, buddy?
Sorry about that. But no, I was saying, I think some of the biggest lessons learned are, what you're going through, right? And, people talk about building a house on a strong foundation. You can't have a house without a solid foundation, obviously. In business, it's the same thing. And, sometimes we can hit, quote unquote, the easy button for temporary, and, it comes back and bites. Something that I did is I essentially had everything third party. And we're in the process of bringing everything back in house now. And, I think it goes back to the importance of, quote unquote, doing the hard thing first, building the right team, building the systems, building the processes, and actually leaning into the people that are around you. Because that's who's going to actually allow you to grow the business to where you want it to be able to grow to. So, that's a big lesson, that I've gone through, is just making sure not to necessarily just hit the easy button and, build a strong foundation for your business, because that's what's going to take you into longevity. So, that's a big takeaway that I'm in the middle of and want to share with everyone.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. If you guys listening, you're still here, first and foremost, thank you so much. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. If this documentary and this conversation is valuable to you, if you would share and tag Tim, Austin, Terry, and Josh, everyone in the documentary, it's free to do. This costs nothing. Tag and share it, and show us that you care. Yes, you can talk or like the button, but if you share it, you tag us, we see that you exist. And it's not that, but there's a lot of people here. So very small percentage of people are going to do this. My question is, are you going to do it? Are you going to share it, tag, well, hey guys, check out this documentary, listen to these guys, are crazy or cool or whatever you say. I'm cool either way. I just do something. This is an action. Then what this does is starts resetting your group. You start setting your algorithms like, yo, you're following these people, go follow Tim, go follow Austin, go follow me if you're not following me, at Mark Evans DM across all platforms, as well as go follow Terry Summers, Josh Z. Follow the people we're here for a reason, to serve and help. But show us that you care, give us some love, follow us, connect with us, find one that you like, Go deep with them. I promise you, everyone that's in this documentary is top tier, and that you can't go wrong. So I appreciate you guys. Can we drop the website info? Yes. Dealmaker. There we go. Dealmakeralliance.com. Check it out. Have a call with Sonia. I appreciate you guys being here. Tim, Austin, thank you guys. I owe you. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing night.